建立账户，建立个人账户，输入姓名
Enter your name,
出生年月日
your date of birth,
性别
gender,
自行建立 Gmail 地址
your Gmail address.
输入地址名
Enter
称
your Gmail address.
输
Continue.
入并确认您的密码
Enter and confirm
按下
your
继续
password. Then continue.
输入电话号码
Enter your phone number.
收到含有验证码的简讯
After you
后
receive the verification
使用
code,
该验证码
use the
验证您的
verification
手机号
code
码
to
按一下
verify
继续
and then continue.
账号注册成功
Now you've registered your account. So the third step is to subscribe to Grandmaster JinBodhi's YouTube channel. Go to YouTube app, search Grandmaster
选取
JinBodhi,
正确的频道
choose the right
进入
channel.
频道后可以看
When
到
you enter
宗
this
师各种
right
精彩的
channel,
开
you will
始
see Grandmaster
多记录
JinBodhi's wonderful teachings and life feed records.
记得在频道按下订阅
Remember to click
并开小铃铛
subscribe and turn on
接受
all
各种通知
notifications.
第四步
The
快
fourth
速看
step
到喜欢
is
的
to
开始
quickly
内容
see your favorable part
点击影
of the
片
video. Click on the
点击
video
大三角
and
形
then
符
that triangle.
滑动预览
Scroll down. You see the time codes. When you click on the time code, you will go directly
如果
to
喜
the
欢
part
这些影片
that you like the best. If you like the
请
video,
点赞
please click on thumbs up
留言
and leave comments.
分享给亲朋好友
Share with your friends and family.
教会您身边的亲朋好
Teach your
友
friends and
牵起他
family
与宗师的缘
to
分
subscribe to Grandmaster JinBodhi's YouTube channel so they can also establish the connection with Grandmaster and will bring you immeasurable benefits.
Hello,
my dear friends.
今天就到了你问吧之二。
So today
这是
is
这些
part
青年
2
人的问
of
题哈。
Ask
好
Away.
像上次我们讲完
Questions
之后
about
哈，
a lot of
因为我们讲的
youth.
都是
Last
我们一些
time,
网友的问题。
we picked some of our
他
friends'
就有回
questions,
复了
and
啊
when we answered
哎
them
物理
very quickly, they have
你
sent
问的第一
feedback.
期的节目里面，
In
其实我们
part
对
1
讲到
of
一些
Ask Away,
青年网友提的问题
we
他们
asked
想
some
得到
questions
指导
about some of our
首
young
先呢，就
friends,
是有比方说
and
在
they'd like to
现
have
在很多
guidance
学校就改成
about
网课模式以后，
you know,
小朋友
a
在
lot
家
of
上的
schools
课
are
其实
having
就是
online
控制不住的
classes,
玩手
and
机啊，玩电脑游戏啊，
those
完
students
全
were
影
at
响了他
home
在上网课
and
的那个
they
正常的
sometimes cannot
作
control
息，让父母
themselves
亲很
and
担忧啊，
they
这是一点。
also sleep
还有
very
呢，有
late
青
and
年网友
parents
来
are very
提出来说，
worried, and some young
他呢，
friends
其实
also
挺有抱负
ask,
的，但
you
是
know,
在现在的工作当
they
中，发
actually
现
want to do something
老
big,
板
but
虽然也赏识
even
他，但
though
是呢，不会那么重
her
视给
employer
他升迁的
seems
机
to
会，
like
所以他也不
her
会
and
频繁的跳
put
槽
her,
换工作，只
but
是
but
在
she
这个
doesn't
过程
feel
当
like
中，
she
并没有得到
was
他
she
预
has
期
any
的这种
space for
在职
development,
场
and
上
so she
有
had
得
to
到提
change
升
jobs
成就感
frequently,
的这
and
种
she
感
didn't
觉。
feel that she
这
has
是
been
我们问的
promoted.
这些
And
青年
so
网友的比较常见的问题，
these are
包
very
括我们有
common
一位
questions
做
from
面
young
包房
friends,
的
and one of
家
the
计的这样的一位
friend
韩国的
is
网
a
友也
baker
是
in
有一点
Korea,
不开
and
心，
he was
说
not
是
very
觉得
happy
这么繁重的
because
工作让
he
他完
worked
全
so
在
hard
就是
and he had
应该说
to
是像压缩时间
sort
的
of
做完。 那即使他
he
要
had
加
to
班的话呢，
rush
老
to
板
do
又
so
不
much
付加
work
班
in
费，
the
种种之
daytime,
下，
and
这种
his
情形之下
his
的工
boss
作
didn't
表
want
现
to
也
play
让他会
to
觉
pay
得
his
自己其实是
overtime,
不堪
and
重负
so
啊，
he
是这样
felt
子。还
very
有呢，我们的
stressed,
网友
and
是
and another friend was, actually had questions about grandma at home, even though grandma is a senior, but she always swear and say some, tough words. And so the parent was worried. And another young friend was worried about her father having a bad habit of smoking. And another two, one friend also asked about feeling very guilty about hurting someone who treated her very well, and she wanted to say sorry, but the other party didn't want to forgive her. What should she do? Another young girl felt that they have been terribly hurt by others, and she couldn't let go and she couldn't forgive, and asked Grandmaster how she can let go. And so she wanted to have guidance from Grandmaster. So these young friends, these friends were actually listening to Grandmaster's answer. We're listening to the live stream, and so right after the live stream, they send their feedback right away, how happy they were and what they are thinking right now. So I like to report what they feel after listening to Grandmaster's guidance. We received quite a few answers and we feel very happy. So allow me to share. Wen Guang and her daughter, at the time, the mother actually raised a question. For these virtual classes, her daughter wasn't interested in some of the subjects, and so her daughter just let the class running there, and she herself went away to make phone calls, and so Grandmaster answered the question. You need to also learn every subject well, because before you go to university, you need to at least make sure all subjects you need to pass. And so the daughter right back, her name is Wen Guang. Hello, Grandmaster. I'm already maybe grade 8 or grade 9 now. And she said, I watched the live feed together with my mom. Now I reflected on myself. I really want to go to university, but because I need to have every subject get a pass at least to go to university. So I decided, even for the subject that I don't really like so much, I will try to grow some interest and spend more time on it. And I hope that my mom will find me a tutor, and I want to learn it well. And so thank you, Grandmaster, for the guidance. So this is really nice to hear. And the mother also wrote, in the future, I will care about her and look after her, help her more for the subjects that she doesn't like so much. I will spend more time to help her. And during the MCO, the Malaysia control order, it's not very convenient to find a good tutor. When it's not so serious, the pandemic turns around, I will try to find a good tutor for her. And Joy said, I'm so happy that they actually understood what Master has told them, and they're putting in action right away. And another friend who asked a question about what she can do because she hurt another person who cared about her. And we later find out that the person that she hurt very hard is her teacher, and that's the teacher who actually led her to Bodhi, and she actually loved her teacher very much. But she made a very big mistake and she hurt her teacher seriously, and that's why she asked the question how she can find a way to obtain that forgiveness. And so Grandmaster guided her to say sorry to her in person, face to face, and sincerely. And so she wrote back and said, "Thank you, Grandmaster, for the advice. And I've already know that this is my mistake. I've learned important lesson. I hope in the future she will trust me again, and we can spend time together happily as before." Actually, from that time on, every night I always face your picture and try to connect with you. In February, I sent in this question. I didn't expect that my question was picked and were read, and I'm so excited and so happy. Thank you, Grandmaster. I don't know if my teacher would also watch this live feed, but she's also your disciple. I hope she also have watched the video. After the MCO, I will try to find an opportunity to meet her and also repent in front of her. I hope with your blessings and your guidance, we can, our relationship will get better again. Well, actually, the teacher actually has already forgave her. The teacher also watch the video, and she also get the guidance from Grandmaster, and so she understood that, well, this girl is still young, right? It's okay to make mistakes, and she has already forgive the girl. Yeah, so a lot of these friends who received the answers, they were so grateful. And the girl from Singapore, they also had very good communication with her mother. And the girl, do you still remember the escort service? And she said she will not do the escort service. Yeah. And the girl who asked how she can forgive, she wrote a very, very long letter back, and all in English. And anyways, she reported how all that was in her heart. And anyways, Grandmaster said, actually, it's not easy to be parents. My summary is that actually your child's future is in your hands, and I can create my future. What your child will become. A lot of times parents want their children to become, dragons or phoenixes. That's the old Chinese saying. Anyways, every parent wants their children to have a bright future. But the children will have some, behavior that seems to be quite negative. And when I analyze these, I found that a lot of them are caused by the influence, directly or indirectly, from parents. Say, for example, the parent would slaughter pigs or sheep, just an example. And then the child would think that killing is very natural, and if he caught a sheep or pig, then like killing in 2 minutes or even just 1 minute, and maybe your colleague would say, wow, they would even praise her or praise your child for the killing, but you didn't know. You think that you're just make a living, but everything that you do, you're actually a role model. You want your child to be a dragon or phoenix. You want your child to have bright future, but whatever you do, you need to be careful. I'm sure you two also have some thoughts, right? Would you like to say something? Joy said, one of my friends, for a period of time, she and her daughter, stayed in our house, and I found how come the child is so rough when she talked to parents, but it's quite polite when she talked to me. And so I asked my friend, why is that? And the mother said, it's all because of me, because whenever I talk to her dad, I'm always like that. And so the child learned it from the mother. She actually loved her mother very much, but whenever she started talking to her mom, she would be very rough. And so this is actually a bad habit and was influenced by parents. Christine said, I have a very good friend, and she's very positive. She's very filial. She treated her parents very, very well and very respectful. They have very good financial situation, and every time they travel, they would always bring grandparents, and on the way they would look after grandparents so well. They would rather give up an activity because of the grandparents cannot, say for example hiking, and so they would just accompany the parents. And so whatever she show is how she care about her parents. And so when I see her child seems to be so considerate about their parents and grandparents and other even seniors or other people older than them. And so once she said, oh, this dumpling is so yummy, can I order another one for my grandparents? And she was only like 7 or 8 years old, but when I think about her heart, she would always thinking about her parents. And I think that's because my friend actually act as a very good role model. And Grandmaster says, yeah, this is very good.
他其实所有的行为都在模仿着父母亲。
The child, whether they intentionally or unintentionally, they are actually copying their parents, and parents actually influence them the most. So when we want them to be dragons or phoenixes, sometimes
看到就是家长给我反映孩子问题的时候，其实这个问题已经形成问题。
when some people tell me the issue, actually it had already been a problem, and someone said the child is already 18 years old, but he would always steal, and I actually beat him several times. What can I do? Because otherwise he would again break the law. And some other children maybe always bully others, and even will bully, students who are older than them, and their parents would even come to their home to find this child, and the parents, the other child's parent would come and find him and even want to beat him. So this becomes very risky, very dangerous. And some children, they always swear, and what should we do? And so when they told me the problem, it's already an existing problem, and they've already tried to correct but couldn't. And so what should we do? And so I try to find the source. The source that I found is because of you, parents. Your children's behavior is closely related to you, parents. Actually, the children's behavior is just like a reflection of the parents' behavior, because when the children come back from school, they see most is their parents, and not just what you say you do, but also your your values and your point of view. When I was a child, I remember they asked me, what would you like to do? You want to be a teacher or something? And yeah, I remember Grandmaster said in Guangzhou, a lot of people from 3 to 7 years old, they all want to be, business person, a very successful business person. But in the north, they would say, oh, I want to be a military officer, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a teacher or a doctor. So it's more like like a regular career. But in Guangzhou, everybody wants to just to be a business person because of the environment. Everybody only talks about money, how to make money, and that's the only topic. And that's why in Guangdong they say, as long as you have money, they think that money can bring everything. Well, this is not absolutely wrong. It's not absolutely right either. What parents has influence the children, eventually you have to take the consequence. So this is great. Master is indicating this, like children's future is in parents' hands. But for the children, we would like to say your future is in your hands, and your so you need to have a goal in your mind, in your heart, and you can create your future. And today we still have lots of questions. Let's start from a question from Singapore. And this is Qi from Singapore. He'd like to ask guidance from Grandmaster about his child, only 10 years old. So this child doesn't care about anything and no sense of responsibility. And also, even worse is that he would always lie. Every week he would be late for 3 or 4 days. In the morning or in the evening, he would not brush teeth, he would not take shower, and he doesn't like to do homework. And sometimes he would say that he finished it, but actually he only did part of it. He just do whatever he likes to do, and he's not very concentrated in class. And when he was scolded, and then afterwards he would just when he was scolded, he would pretend to be like wanting to change, but afterwards within 10 minutes he would be singing again. And he didn't know what he wants, and whatever he's doing, even playing games, he would give up whenever there's difficulties. So in this way, I don't know, well, he won't have future if he's in this way. Well, Grandmaster says almost all the problems are created by parents. This child didn't like to do homework, and he only tried to choose easy homework to do. And whenever he make any mistakes, he would forget about this very soon. So my question is that who of you, mother or father, who is like this? And so Christine said, maybe one of you are a little bit like this. Well, maybe the parent, when you listen to my words, will think, oh, you're scolding me. Well, all parents, I would suggest you to do things with them. Sometimes the parents would say, oh, play piano. I spent like 80,000 yuan to play to purchase the piano, and you only played twice. You see, my hair is already white, and my back is already hunched, and so you are complaining. Instead of complaining, you can I'll
就是
tell
你
you
带
what
他从一
you
个简
better
单的
to
事情
do.
开始去做。
You can start from something simple.
哎，我在带我们青年小朋
When
友
I'm
做事的时候，
leading our
我
young
不是说
friends
给
to
你
do
来
something,
考试一下，你
I'm
们的
not
成绩怎
just
么样？
taking
不，
you here to
我就
take
从
an
做一件
exam.
小事，
I'll just start from
这样大家
something
给我
very
做体
small.
操哈，
Let's do,
那就
say,
说
for
一定
example,
肯定高难度
some,
啊，
you know,
我做出了
movements.
简单的，
You think it
但
would
是
be
我
very
想示
difficult.
范，
No, it's
哎，
very
现在这
simple.
个动
But
作
I'll
做10
say
下，
10
哎，我来示
times.
范哈，跟着我
Okay,
做，
I'll show you how
我
to
就
do
是
it,
1
and then I'll say
2
1,
3，
2,
哎，你就跟着我
3,
做。
and then you follow it.
孩子们一模仿说这么简单
And
啊，
then the children would
我
feel,
说对不起啊，还有
oh,
第
it's
二
so
个动作，
simple.
第二个动作一看之
Oh,
后动
there's
作还
a
很简单，第
second
3个动作
movement.
还很简
It's
单，
still very simple. The
哎，
third
我
one's
就停
still
下来了，
simple.
我就停下来
And
说
then
话，
I
说师傅还
stop.
有没有动作？说没有，
And
谢
then
谢。
I start to
这么
say
简
something.
单
And
呢，
then they would say,
我要的
any
是什么
other
呢？
movements? I say, no.
不要让
So
他给
simple.
吓住了，你说哇这么难
What I
啊，
want
这
is
么
that
难
I
我不
don't
会，
want them
你只
to
要一
feel
说
too
跟你做我就
difficult.
跑掉，
I don't want
他就不
them
敢
to
做了，对
hear
不对？
like whatever I
所以
want them
培
to
养孩
do,
子叫
they're
善始
afraid
才
of, like
比如说你带
they
孩子
to do it. And
炒一道菜，
if you
孩子
are,
别看哈，不要以为
you
读
know,
书才是最有用的哈，
teaching them
因为
to
你做
cook
这些东
something,
西你
don't
在缓
always
解他的大
think
脑，
like
同时也给
studying
他
is
鼓
the
励。
only thing they need to
比如
do.
你做一道
Actually,
菜，就是从
like
选
learning
菜，
cooking is
你
also
不
a
要说
good
都已经
thing
切
to
好的
learn.
菜就在这放着，我
Don't
带你炒就好了。
don't
孩子只能
washing
玩着手
and
机，结
cut
果
the
你把菜炒好
vegetables
了，
or
这都不行。
get
一
ready
定
and
是就是
waiting
说哈，
just
我
to be
们把
stir
手机都
fried.
放在外面去，
And
我
your
们从
children
选
are
菜，哎，是
actually,
这样
you're
洗菜
cooking
啊，
and he's
哪里东
playing,
西要掐掉，
you
什
know,
么样的
video
要掐
games.
掉，
Let's
什么
put
样的
cell
菜才
phone
可以吃，
aside and
一边说
we will say,
一边
oh,
做，
this kind of
但
vegetables
是
are
语气
good
呢
for,
不要给
you
孩
know,
子压
stir
力，
fry. And
他
but
做
when you are
错别
saying
等他
that,
做错，说哦
do
菜是这样
not
切的，
uh,
比如说切韭菜，
blame them. Do
我
not
说
wait
这样
until
炒
they've
的时候要
already
切
made a
多长
mistake. We
是
can
最
teach
健
them.
康的，
Okay, for
哎，这样我们能
chives,
练我们的牙齿，
usually
同时
we will
对什么
cut
消化有好处，
like
哎，别讲太多
this
哈，
length
讲多了就
because
恶
this
心，
is easy
哎。
to
先
chew
比如说这个锅
easier.
什么样子，
And so
先
we'll
倒油，
use this kind of
有些孩
pot
子不管，拿
and
个
we'll
铁锅往
put
上一坐，光就倒油，结果
cooking
他也死。
oil. Some children, you know, they don't know how to
对，
cook,
每个
so
细节都要做。
even in the
锅
pot
放
there's
到这儿
still
了，现在
water.
开火哈，
And so we'll say,
哎，
okay,
打
put
开
the
抽
pot
抽
there,
油烟机，
and
哎，
we would
这
turn on
个
the
看到这
fire
里头这个
and
一
turn
点点水
on
滴哈，
the
烧
fan,
干了，
and you see
再
that the
开始倒
pot
油。
is dry. After
你看
it's
咱们这2
dry,
个人吃
we
饭哈，
start
所
to
以这么一
pour
点
the
菜不
cooking
要倒太
oil
多油，
because there's
倒多
only
少你就
two
倒
of
更
us.
多，
We
让他
don't need
看
to
着，
put too
哦，
much
孩
oil.
子自然
See,
哦倒这
only
么多
this
呀，
much is
倒
enough.
这么多，
And so the child
比
would
如
see,
最后再放
oh,
成
this is
熟了，
already enough. And
连
then
这
you
个
would
程序
say, you
孩
would
子都跟着
teach
做
the
完了。
whole
哎，说来我
procedure.
来往里放盐，
And you would say, okay, you
啊，放
put
这
the
么多，这个
salt.
太多了，
Oh, this
少
is
放
a
一点，
little
放
too
一半。
much. You can just put half of
哦，
it.
孩子其实就有手的感觉啊，就知道
And
哦，
then
放
the
这么多。
child would have a
现在开始
feeling,
倒菜， 开
including
始
their
用铲子来
feeling of
炒，
the hand. And then they
啊，
would
就是这个锅是不粘锅，对不对？
stir fry.
还得
And
用
maybe
塑料铲或者用
this is
木头铲子，啊，不
non-stick
要用铁铲，是吧？
pan.
哎，
And so
这
you
这些
say,
都得
don't
要说
use a
啊，
hard
放到
one.
一定
Maybe
程度说
use a
好了已经，赶快出
plastic
锅往
one
外
or
倒。
maybe
哎，
a
这个时
rubber
候一
one.
定要让孩子来
And
倒，
and
就最
then
有
you
成
say,
就感，
okay,
跟
now
收获一
we're
样。
done.
说
So
哇，
now
这
you
个
can
菜
pour them in
做
the
成了，
plate,
他
and
感觉这
make
是
sure
我
you
做的，
ask the child
你
to
看很有
pour them
成
in
就
the
感
plate because this is the
啊。
time
最
of
后妈妈说，
success.
我
This
尝
is the
尝怎么样？
time
你说
to
哇，好香
enjoy
啊，
the
儿子
achievements.
你真棒。
And then the mom would
哎，
say,
就这一句
okay,
够了，
wow, this is
他一
so
下就觉得跟
delicious.
妈妈干活原来是这么
And
轻
the
松快
child
乐，
feels
他就
so
得到了赞美，我很
wonderful
棒。你
after
看我的这
working
个
with mom and she's
我的这
praised or
个
he's
考试
praised.
成绩
And
这么差，哎，
even
我的
though
做菜成绩这么好，
he's not
他开
very
始有
good
喜
at
悦感。
school, he
而且这个
felt
很有
like
信心
he's
哈，
so,
对
or he or she is
对，
very
是
successful
是是，
in
而且更重
cooking,
要
and
的就是
at
跟着妈
least
妈一
he
起
grows the
一起让
confidence. And from when learning to cook from beginning to the end, they learned a whole process, go through the whole process until the end of it instead of give up halfway. And so the parent guide the child and give all these instructions. And so Grandmaster said, don't give too many praises. Say, for example, the first time he or she only followed, he didn't independently cook it. If you praised 18
他就
times,
晕
it
了，
would
他
be
可以
too
作业
much.
我也不做了，我既然是这么美好，我今天这么光彩，
Yeah,
我今
he
天还
probably
要考上
didn't
状
even
元一样，
want to
不能有这
do
种感
any
觉。
other homework. He
家
would,
长要有
yeah,
分寸，要有定
you
力，
know,
对吧？
parents, you need
其实训小
to
孩训狗都很累。
praise
那你说了太多的话，
the
狗都晕了，这到底咋回事？
appropriate amount. If
我
you
今
say
天中
too
大奖了
much,
嘛，是吧？
it
所
would
以要
be
有
quite
要
confusing.
轻松简
And
单。
so it
别人
needs to
说，
be
既然
very
你跟着妈做了
light
一道菜
and
我说
simple.
你最棒，你最聪明，完了再给你20块钱，
If you say,
这
oh,
更
you are
是一个
so
错误。
smart
那一
and I
句
give
奖励
you
足够了。
$20.
对
No,
任
no,
何人
no.
请
Just
记
the
住，在
praise
此
is
之前，
enough.
孩子从
And
来没有在
even
你嘴里
before
认可
that,
过。
remember,
你跟我学了之
he
后，
or she has
你突
never
然
been
认可，一
acknowledged
下
by
一奖
you.
励18
But
遍，再给20块钱，
now she
他就
learned
晕了，
cooking
他要
from
从太
you,
上皇了，
and
又不听话了。
he or
我
she
赶快
got
加
so
钱
many
去啊！这还没
praises.
开
And
始走
if
这
you
条
give
花钱
money
之路。
again, he would think like, oh my
对，
gosh. And
所以就是
he didn't
指
know
责、
what to do. And
惩
you're
罚，
encouraging him to
包括
spend
赞
money.
美、
Well, so
奖励
punishment,
都是有分
praise,
寸的。
or presents,
对，要
these
有一个就像
all
放
need
盐，
to
炒菜放
have
盐一样，
a
要适度。
very
当一
appropriate
旦过少和
extent
过
or
多都不好
quantity.
吃，
It's just
对
like
吧？
putting salt
哎，
in
过
the
淡了
dishes.
没
Too
味道，
much
过
is too
咸了
salty.
淹死
If
人。
it's
哎，
too
所以这
less,
个
then
多少这个
there's no
程
taste.
度哈，
And so
与他
the
取得的成就有
quantity
关系，所以不可以废话。
depends on how
但是也
much,
有
how
人就没
big
这
the
个修养
achievement.
啊，
But
所以
some
我就喜欢
people,
我这个宝贝儿，他拉
they
屎都是香的，我就是拼命的赞美，
they
做
they
对一
just
件事情我就赞美。
excessively
那么
praise
结果如
because
何
they
呢？
love the child too
就
much.
是你活
But
生
the
生的把
result
他这
is
个
that
害
you're
死，
actually
知
killing
道吗？
him or her.
所以你本来是炒一道菜立刻来吃，结果你多放了很多
You
盐一样，
were
就把它
just
淹
doing
死
stir fry, but
啊！
you just
它
put
会
too
适
much
得
salt.
适得
It
其
would
反呐
be
啊！所以这
you
个父
would
母亲
get
要明白这
a
个道理
negative
啊！
result if
所
he
以
is
惩罚与赞美
excessive.
都是要适量适度，好吧？
So
哎，那再者呢，就是我在观察，
it
比
needs to
较
be the
走
right
向比较容易
amount.
走向成功的人，你
And
看看
you
他们
want to
其实
be
有
a
很多，
successful
呃，
person.
其实我也在所谓的去研究所谓的成功学。
I'm
我说
actually
成功学不是
also
指
trying to
今天你一
study
定发财
the
了哈，
way
不仅仅是这个，
that
比如
leads
说
to
科研呐、
success.
科技呀、教授啊
Like
啊，一
doing
些高级的政
research
治家呀、艺
or
术家呀，
to be a
那
successful
么他们共同的特色
politician
是什么？
or successful
就
professor.
是有非常好的
Um,
习惯。比如
the
说，
what is
我
in
可以没
common
有太高
within
的
all
智慧，
those successful
但是
person is that they
我
all
爱
have
阅
good
读，
habits.
阅
They
读不就
maybe
在
don't
增
have
加
very
知
high
识吗？
IQ,
这
but
是多久
they
的智慧，对
love
不对？
reading.
那
Well,
你爱读书
reading
的
will
本
help
身
you to
是不是
increase
勤
your
快的？
knowledge. And love
因为你们都在
reading,
睡懒觉，
it,
我
does
在
it
读
mean
书，
that you would be more
哎，
diligent,
甚至
right?
还自己
Everybody's
考自己。
sleeping, but you are
所以
reading
第一
and
个要
learning, and you would
勤奋，
even
第二个好
yeah.
学，对
So
不对？
you need
你
to
看一下有
be
了两个层次。
you need to be
第三个接下
diligent
来说，
and
我呢
also
还要
love to
运动，
learn, right?
你要不运动
And
光
so
读书哈，
already
身体
good,
垮下来
two
了。
good
那你
habits.
没有身体的话，
And
什么都
also
做不
you
了，
need to
是吧？还要爱运
to
动
do more exercise, more
啊。再
sports,
接着第
and
四
because
呢，
you need to have a good health to
你可
be
以有
able
很多很
to
多，比
achieve
如说
success.
你刚才说了守时，
Oh,
守
and
时
what
要
else?
遵守时
You
间。
need to be punctual.
我在跟人，你在人生
Right?
之中总避免不
In
了
your
和人
life,
有一次约会，我
you
去谈事，对不
will
对？
definitely have
我
at
一般
least
的约
one
会哈，要
appointment.
不是
Usually,
天大的事情，
if
我都
it
是
is
提前到的。
not
我不管是约弟
something
子
really, really
还是约外面
unexpected,
的朋友，
I would
我都是
usually
提
be
前到，
early.
以示
Yeah.
尊重，说绝不迟
Even
到。
an appointment
那也
with
有
my
人说，哎呀，什么
disciple
了不
or
起呀？
anybody, you know,
他是我的下
I
属，
will just I will
他
always
是一
be
个
early
什
to
么一
show
个
my
更低身
respect.
份的人，
Sometimes you
说
say,
他是一个
oh,
老人，没
he
关系，他无
is,
所
you
谓，
know, of
这些
a
都不行。
lower,
就你心里头
you know,
你要与人相
class
见，就
or
要尊重他，
or
所
yeah,
以
but
特别守时。
you
我
want
本
to
人是守
respect
时的，
them, right?
虽
So
然我没什
you
么成
will
就，但
always
是
be
我觉得我
punctual,
这样就是
even
一种
though I
成
don't
就。
have too much success.
至
But
少我和接
at
触的人，他
least
觉得我是尊重他，
whoever I
对
deal
吧？
with, I
还有
will
一个呢，
respect
就
them,
是
right?
你
I
刚才说
will
守
also
时，
show
我
my
要说守
respect.
信，
And not
守
just
信
be
是守信
punctual,
用，
but
守
also I will keep my promise.
还有什么？
What else? So these are the good habits or the qualities that will lead to success. Be very accountable. Say, for example, you study hard is because you have a sense of responsibility, whether it's for yourself or for your parents or the responsibility for the society. Even you want to learn medical science? Is it because you want to cure yourself? Usually it's not. It's because you want to cure other people's illnesses. And some men would even learn gynecology. And so you want to be a good doctor, so you want to study hard and you enjoy the hard work, the hard study, and also persistence. Sometimes some people cannot persist and then they give up in the middle, halfway, and that young boy, when he encountered any difficulties, he would give up and he would even forget about his difficulty because he doesn't have sense of responsibility and doesn't persist. He didn't persist and he didn't think that it's a shame not to persist. When he forgets about all these, it doesn't mean that he has a big heart. He just doesn't have the sense of responsibility. In that case, he won't be able to achieve anything. What if he make any medicine? He would just like the herbal medicine, when they make some herbal medicine, you just make it randomly and you could even kill people. And some nurses, say for example, the doctor prescribed something, but the nurse was careless and therefore they kill the patient. So that happened before. There are people like that. They should have put medicine in the IV, but have you ever heard that some people even put alcohol in the IV and kill that person? You haven't heard about this, but I heard about these cases before. Doctors, nurses, they are not very accountable. If they're doing things like too freely, then they're not very careful. Then doctors and nurses need to have a very strong sense of responsibility. It's so important. Christine says, well, whatever Grandmaster is guiding us in, before we try to correct the children, we should start from ourselves and correct ourselves. If the parents doesn't study, you just want the child to learn by himself, or say for example, keeping the promise and being punctual. If the parent is the opposite, say for example, this child in Singapore, you don't read it. Maybe one day you said, this mistake is nothing. It's just a mistake, right? Then the child would hear it and think, mistake is nothing, not a big deal. If you want your child to be a dragon, and actually you don't want them to be a worm, but actually whatever you are, whoever you are, your child will become the same like you. And so in order for your child to be better, you need to be better, and you also need to lead them to do the same thing. Of course, it's impossible for you to always do the things with him every day, but at least once a month. And the child would feel so happy. And also, he would learn something from the beginning to the end. And he learned persistence to do something from beginning to end. If you're going to a park, he said, Yeah, if
这个乍
this
听
is
起来说，
not
哎，这个父母亲太认
if
真了
the
吧，
if the
太
child
叫
wants
板了，对
to
不对？
give up
但
halfway,
是
you
你
think
记住，
no.
培养的是
We've
习
already
惯。
said
我
we're
现在讲的
going
是
there. If there's
培养一个
nothing,
孩子的
you
好
know,
习惯，
too
就
hard
等于你
that's
送了他万两黄金。
prevent us from going there, we
培养
will
孩子
still go
坏
there.
习惯，
You want to
等于你
train
把
them a
他
good
毁了
habit.
他的人生。
If you train
你的
and
人
help
生
them to
你毁
form a
掉
good habit, you're
啊，
helping them
你
to
孩
succeed.
子的
But
人生你
if
帮
you
他毁
help
掉
them to form a
啊！
bad
我也
habit,
希望说，
you are actually
孩
ruining
子
their
的未
future.
来
So
由父母
I
亲和孩
hope
子一起共同
children's
创造那份精
future
彩
would
出
be
来。
created by both the
不客气。
child and the
说
parents
那接下来
to
呢，还有一
create
位
wonders in the
奇准
future.
年轻人，他也
And
是提了个问题，已
奇准
经是工作的一个人士了啊。那说他的工作
he
搭
or
档
she
是
is
个
a
外国
young
人，可能是因为
man or
文化
woman,
不一样，
and
所以和搭档之间有一些困
he's
难。
26,
大体上
and
合作还
his
行，
partner
但是
is
最困扰的就是
a
他觉得
foreigner,
搭
and
档
because
明
they
明
have
知道
different
和
culture,
会的东西，
so
但是就是不交
they
流，
have
不和他说，
difficulty in
所以让奇
communication,
准觉得
and
自己的进步空间很慢。
something that his partner
那搭档他
definitely
自己的
knows,
工作有
but
时
he
候
would
也
not
需要我去帮忙，
tell
可是跟
her,
他说我
he
需
would
要
not
哪些资料才能
tell
帮
tell
忙的
her,
时候，
and
另外搭
therefore
档就
it would be
装什么都
harder
不懂，
for 奇
然后
准
他就
to
去问了很多
improve,
人一大圈，
and
那么这位搭档才透露一点点资料，所以就是帮他都很费时。
yeah,
那
if
么
I
这样的
want
现
to,
象也发生了很多次。 然后奇准就觉得我
sometimes
自
he
己也
need
有
my
工作
help,
的任
and
务，别
he
人的
would
工作
pretend that
他
he
的
didn't
搭档都
know
会教
some of the
新来者，
materials would be
可是
needed
我
to
的
help
工作
him,
搭档不太教
and
我，他只
you
忙
know,
他自己
other
的，
people's
导致
partner
我感到压
always
力，什么
teach
都
the
不是太
newcomers,
懂。
but my
我
partner
尝试
never
问别
teach
人，
me,
但是
and
问别
he
的组，他
only
们负责东西
do
不一
his
样，他
own
就
work.
帮
I
不上
feel a
忙。
lot of
就
pressure.
是
I
想
don't
看看，就
know
是他会
much,
觉得
and
是不是因为我自
sometimes
己可能
I try to
不够
ask
熟
other
啊，
people,
或
but
者
they
是
are
太
doing
有
different
礼
jobs, so
貌，
they don't
所以
know.
才会
I don't
他
know it's
看
because
他都这
I'm
么轻
too
慢自己啊，那也不确定，也不
polite,
确定是
or
不是因为这个
I'm
工作不太符合
why
我的本
why
性，
is that
所以想起来
is
时候
this
就
work
给
not
我一个
suitable
不
for
太
me,
好的指导。
or
嗯，
what is the
是。
reason?
这个一个是与这个国家地区的
Well,
这种社会文化有关系。
sometimes it relates to the
如
culture
果
of
在
this country or this
台湾或
region.
者日本，
If it is in Taiwan or
他这个
Japan,
称呼，这个人在这个地方
this
是提早
person,
来的，并且
if
很多
he
知识那个
is
人是懂得的，
there,
但是现在不教
he
他，对
came
不对？
here early
所
and
以
he
在写
knows
信
a
的时
lot
候，
of the
你
knowledge
称呼的
there.
时候，这叫前辈，
And so
叫前辈。
when
可是
you
我们的
call
文物写
him
信
or
来的
call
是叫
her,
搭档，
you should
这
call
个
him
搭档不教
my
我，
senior
是非常怠慢的评
partner,
级。
but you're just calling
平
him
常
partner. So
非
when
常
you're
怠慢的
calling
评
him,
级，
you're
人
just
家
calling
那你想你的
him
表现
like you're
是
the
尊重吗？
same level. So you're not showing
没
your
有吧？
respect.
如果让你们俩遇上这
Say,
么一
for
个称你为
example,
搭
you
档，
two,
哎，姐们儿， 你怎么样，而且说话很粗鲁，你
if
会乐意
someone
教他吗？
is asking you something and they're just
笑笑吧，
and they want
笑就
you
不
to
错了
teach him
啊。
something,
嗯，
would you teach
遇
him?
上脾气
And
大的会
he's
抽
just
他。
saying,
对，既然是搭档嘛，那就
oh,
看一两
just
下
a
吧。
partner
搭档，你可以永
in
远
the
不理
work.
他呀。
其实对，如果他把对方看成是前辈，那他就是一个学生的
Yeah,
姿态，
if
对，
you
那你就应
treat
该更
the
谦
other
卑一点。
你
person
看，你
like a
称为人搭
teacher,
档，你还
then
总盼望
you're
他
like
教你，
showing your
而且
respect
呢，
and
这个
you
搭档
want
不教你，
him
他
to
还挺
teach
烦
you,
恼，
对，
所以你
but
自己
he
的位
didn't
置放
teach
错
you.
了，
是
So
对
Grandmaster
吧？
say you didn't put yourself
就觉
in the
得
right
这个
position.
孩子是没有教养的。
So
他
this
他
young
自己
man
其实也说
is
了，是不是我
not
不太
very
是我
educated.
不太有礼貌，
Yeah.
所以这样的估计可能比这个还
So
更严重。
he
缺少
also
教养。
realized that he's
对，就是
not
其实
very
在工作
polite.
中没有人有义务来教你，
Actually,
这
in
一
the
点我
work,
想让青年
nobody
朋友
has
们
the
知道，就是
responsibility
没
你
to
给我们
teach
写
you
信的话，都是我
anything.
们的网友哈。
You know, when
那我
you
很直白的
write
说，孩子
a
你缺少
question
教
to
养，
me,
你
you're
爹妈没教
our
你，
friend.
我
I
给你
would
爹妈一
have
块
to
儿
say
惩
very
罚啊。
frankly,
就是你
you
要想学
are
东西，你先把
not
人称作
very
是老师
polite. When
或
you
者
want to
师傅
learn something,
啊。
you first of all will call
就是
him
我对我的
teacher
师傅恭敬到
when I
师傅
treat
脸
my
色稍有
master
一点不好看，我
when
师傅
my
那是
master
非常
would
高
just
级有修养
show
的人，
very
他很少能透
tiny
露出表情
slightly
或者情绪
unhappiness
来，我这没见过他
my
有情
my
绪过。
master is
我
so
在
highly
他这一
cultivated
丝的
he
不爽的
would
时候，
really show
我都吓到
any
真是
emotions
心里打鼓，
when he would
我
have
做错什么了，
very
赶快要想方
tiny
设法的去
tiny
弥补。
emotions
那
I
这样
would
的就是一
would
种感觉，
tremble and
师
I
傅
would
不一样，
try
就是
everything
拼了命
to
的要表
make
现
him
自己的
happy
真诚、
I
忠
would
诚、情
try
爱，
my best
是吧？
to
要
show
要
my
想方设法表现
sincerity, my
啊，要这样
diligence,
才可以。
my
那
hard
你还挺傲
working.
慢的，哥
But
们儿、姐
you
们儿，
are
你不教我，
so
你不教我
arrogant.
为什么？你再
Oh,
不教我，
you
我更想
didn't
看你
teach
说，
me.
你心
Why
里这样
should
想的时
you?
候，
Why don't
谁
you
教
teach
你
me?
啊，
When
孩
you are
子？
thinking this way,
你
who
自己
will
都不
teach
知道，
you?
你自己无
You
知不
don't
会，你还
even
那么
know
傲
that
慢，
you are
这个态度
so
就是傲慢，什么你搭档啊？
ignorant and
至少要
so
是你的前辈、
arrogant.
老师，
Well,
哪怕有一样东
you
西你不会，你请教人家就是老师，
Yeah, even
对
if
吧？
you only
你要
have
尊
one
重他。
question, you
哎，
should
所以我
respect
父
him
亲做过泥
and
瓦
call
匠，
him like
他收过
a
徒弟，那
teacher.
徒弟对他也是
And
非常的。
yeah,
师傅，
my
我的父亲对他
father
说一句话的
was
时
a
候，
construction
徒弟是
worker.
不反驳的。好，
His
师傅，我去做，我一定做好，都是这
apprentice
样
would
的。
always
而且
be
过年
very
过节，还要象
respectful
征
and
性
say,
的提
okay,
着运
okay,
输
I'll
的
do
点
it.
心呐，纸
And
包的点心包啊，
And
提瓶
also,
白
whenever
酒啊，
there's a holiday,
来看望师
his
傅
apprentice would
啊。
always
那
come
这过
and
年过节的都是
bring
去
some
来拜访一下，
presents, some
就觉得他
food.
很有礼
And
貌。
so you
到
would
我
see
到我
that,
家到我父
oh,
亲
this
跟前的时
apprentice
候，
is
说话
very
非常的
polite.
客气。
And he would
你
be
到见了他，
talking
他在
so
外面工作的时候，
humbly.
和他同事们
And
也是一起胡说
when
八道，也挺开放。但是到我父亲跟前的时候，
you
特
can
别
see
乖，
that
就是很文明、很老
he
实、
would
很恭
talk
敬。
very freely with his
哎，我父亲也是
coworkers,
一样
but
的，说这徒
whenever
弟不错
he
哈，
comes to
他又
see my
勤快
father,
又聪
he
明，
would be
是
very
吧？又不怕
humble,
辛苦，
very diligent.
哎，
And so
对，
my
我教的
father liked
这
him
就
very
对，我
much
教的
and
愉
would
快。
be very willing to
对，
teach him
所以我
and
们要
many
想学
secrets.
习，
And
对，
so
一定要哈
whenever you
谦
want to
虚、
learn something,
谦
you
卑
need to be very
啊，谨
modest,
慎，
very
比
humble
较恭敬，
and
哎，你
respectful.
才可能学
And
到东西
therefore
啊。
you'll be able
对，
to
哎，
learn
这就是个态
something.
度问题。
This is the yeah, this is because of the
不
attitude,
客
the
气。
problem of the attitude.
好
So
的，
thank
下一
you
个问
very
题
much,
是来自
Grandmaster.
于木
So
匠
the
弟
next
子的
question is
25
from
号，
Mu
在上
Jiang,
大
20
学
years old
担
in
任师傅也好，
university.
请
And
问师傅
so
拖
he
延
said,
症要如何改善？有
oh,
很
oh,
多时候我就
Grandmaster,
是
I
拖
wonder
到最
how
后
we
才开
can
始做，
change
不想
procrastination
提前完成，
because
因为那
a
感
lot
觉
of
有
times
阻力，
I
所以不
always
想让自
want
己。
to wait until the
结果
last
呢，每
minute
次都
to
是搞
start
得兵
doing
荒
it.
马乱的
I don't
也
want
保
to
证过自己要提前开始，可是每次还都是拖延，还
I
看了
always
很
feel
多
like
攻略，
there's some
但是发
kind of
现呢
source
也没有
prevent
作
me
用，
from doing it
我到底
earlier.
怎么办
And
呢？
therefore,
这
every
就是
time I'm in such a rush,
拖延症啊，
yeah, sometimes
拖
I
延症
want
不是
to
病
do it
啊，
early and don't
因为
want to
他在澳
delay,
洲
but
嘛哈，
but
我觉得
at the
会
end
澳
I
洲一种
still
动物感应
procrastinate.
了。
Well, I
哦，
think
那
that
个
oh,
有
you're
法，
from
那个
you're from Australia.
很
I
是
found that
是
you're a
是
little
是
similar
啊，
to
就是
koala
它英文叫什么？考
in
拉是吧？
in English.
考拉也很慢，
就是考
Koala.
拉，
对，
就是慢慢的那个动
So
物，
very
就被那
slow,
个东西附
right?
体了啊。
Maybe your
嗯，
the
但是
koala
人毕竟
spirit
是不
is
是
in
那个
your
动物。
body, but you're not that
你澳洲
animal
火灾，这个东西
in
跑得
uh,
慢，
哎呦，
in
全给烤了，
Australia when
对
there's
吧？
a
所以
forest
以后这
fire
个着火多一
because
点的
these
澳洲考拉就开始
animals
跑快了。哎，
you know runs
对
too
你这东
slow, so
西，
they
你
were
作
all
为人，
burnt.
你不是那种
Maybe in the
动物
future they
啊，
would
你不是那个鼻涕
eventually
虫，
grow to run
对吧？
faster. You're
你
not
想吧，比如说你的好朋友，比如说男
a
朋友，你的好
koala.
朋友在楼下
Say,
等
for
你哈，
example, your
哎，
good
咱
friend
们去
is
做一个
waiting
什
for
么游
you
戏去玩
downstairs.
去，
Let's
我
go
开
and
车来
play
接你，
something. I'll come
10
pick
分
you
钟
up.
啊，
Okay,
好，
in
你
10
25
minutes.
分钟下来，人家
But
早
you
跑
come
了，
down
下
after
次不叫
25
你，你就
minutes.
失
He
常了，
already
对不对？
left. And
如果你
next
是你
time
的
he
男
won't
朋友来
call
接
you
你，
if that's your
10
boyfriend.
分钟，
Say
你
10
半个小
minutes.
时才下来，
But you wait
我
until
说
30
今
minutes to
天的
come
男人
down.
没有过
Well,
去的男人那么
today's
承担
men,
的，
they're
早跑
not
了去接
like
下一个姑娘去了。
in the
这
past.
你就成
This
了观众
boyfriend
了，
will definitely
对不对？
leave and
这首
have
先
another
是特别不
girlfriend
尊重，
because you are not
怎么改？
respecting him. How to
怎么
change
改？不
that?
需要改
You don't
啊，
need
你
to
还是变成
change.
考拉比较
You
好。
just
哎，
become a
就是
koala.
我的命运我创造，
Well,
你变成那个
my
样，
life
是吧？
is
你
in
变成
my
那个样，
hands.
没有办法了就，
You're like that. I don't know
对
what to
吧？
say.
你想不想活得更好？
Do you want to have a better life?
是吧？有人疼，有人爱，又
Do you
有朋友，
want people
又有钱
who
生
love
活。
you
你
and
要
care
想，
about you and you
你
have
就不能
money?
拖延。
If you want to
你
have a
所有的
life
拖延
like
就是不
that,
尊重，
you cannot
或者我
procrastinate.
不
You
喜
can,
欢。
because
你拖延
otherwise
的
it's not,
这个身
it's
体行为就是一种内心的
irrespectful
内
and
心的一种态度。
this
这个
shows
态
your
度就是我不喜
attitude.
欢，
It's like you
我不
don't
乐
like,
意，
you're
我不
not
尊重
willing
你，
to, you don't
无所谓，
respect, you don't
你走位
care.
无所谓，
You
所
don't
以
care if they
你
leave.
没有朋友。
So you won't have
所以这
any
小朋友，你
friend.
有朋友吗？
So this young man or young
是
woman,
吧？
do you have
你
friends?
想，当有一天你有了小孩，
If one day you
是
have a
吧？
child
被狗咬了，或被
and
烫伤
he's
了，或被
bitten
车
by a
撞了，
dog or
你要说
been
等一
burnt
等，
or
我2
had
个
a
小
car
时才能
accident,
穿好
you
衣
say,
服
wait,
啊！你会
I
这样
need to
吗？
put on my
你死
clothes
了
in
10000次了，你
2
都不会怀
hours.
孕的。
Oh
自己
no.
的孩子都饿得哇哇叫的时
Yeah,
候，
when your
对，
child is
爸爸还
hungry
拖延，
and
会爬
the
着孩子从
mom
楼梯
is
上，
still
差那半秒
slowly.
钟就掉下去摔死，
Yeah,
你
you know,
慢吧，
those
对
child
不
when
对？
they
所
learn
以你要
how to
变成
crawl, if
武林
you're
高
late
手才
for
行，
half
啪
a
一把就抓
second,
住，
you,
说孩子才不会
he
摔
would
死。
fall, you
你要
know.
慢慢的
Yeah,
说，
you
等
would
我打个盹
become a
儿，
kung fu
我再去带
master to
你，
be able
孩
to
子早
save
摔
the
死了。
child, right?
所以这都是没责任
Yeah,
心
it's
造成的。
because your lack of
哎，
在职场上呢，就
responsibility
是比方说一个团队里，大家同时一起完成一个项目，
in a team.
你
If
是那
you're
个专门
doing
拖头拉拖后腿的
the
人，
project
那么
together,
他们
if
永
you're
远就会把你踢
always
出去的。
对，我送给这
slow,
个拖拉的
I'm
朋
sure
友
the
哈，
project manager will
其
kick
实
you
我不
out.
想改变你，
Well, I
因
don't
为
want to change you
世界上的
actually,
英雄永远是少数，
because
是
there
金
are
字塔
very
塔尖上那颗
few
钻石才是
heroes
英雄。
in the
英
whole
雄就是我
world.
刚
They're
讲的
like
成
the
功人
top
士，
of the
他一
pyramid.
定是积极
Those
的、快速
successful
的、勇
person,
敢
they're
的、乐
always
意的，
active
很
and
阳光的
quickly
去面
and
对他的生活。
willingly and
而从英雄变
positively
成狗
facing
熊的
their
这个过
life.
程呢，
But
其
from a
实就是
hero
你就是
to
从一个英雄变成一个笨蛋，从一个皇帝变
you
成一
know,
个
a
子民，
silly
从
person,
普通的百
yeah,
姓
from
再
an
变成乞
emperor
丐的这
to
个
a
过程。
normal person, from
是
a
吧？你又在澳
general
大
to
利
a
亚，
beggar.
澳大利
You're
亚
in
政府它整
Australia.
个当年都是英系列的，对不对？英国统治系列的那套法律。
Australian people,
你
they
其实
are
写个申请
also
啊，
in the,
你不用工作，甚至
they
不用
used
开
to be
口，
in the
政府一个月
British
给你几百块钱，可以
alloy.
生活，像考拉一样，
Yeah,
对，直接张嘴儿，
maybe
准有个鸟拉屎能拉进嘴里
you
去哈，
you don't need
饿
to
不死你
work,
的，
and then you
对
would
吧？
still
怎么
have the
养活你？
allowance maybe to
所以
survive.
这种人叫贱人
So these
啊，这
kind
种
of
贱人呢，
people
他其实是剥削百姓，吃那些纳
you
税人的钱，
are
这些不要
exploring
脸的东西
others. Other
啊。
people are
所
paying
以这你
taxes,
也想
and
变成
you
这样的
are
笨蛋，你就去怠慢，
receiving
好吧？
the money,
送给你，
these
你肯定不
benefits
高兴，
from their
但是
tax
你会
money,
改。
and you don't do
像跳起
anything.
来了，现在
Yeah,
已经
okay.
刹那间1秒钟就弹起来，开始骂我了，在那儿。
Maybe
好吧，欢
you
迎骂我
are
哈。
okay.
改变了，
对，
Maybe
你就骂
now
说
you're
我也
already
不怕，
rushing
我不是那样的人。
to scold me
我
or
不管遇
or
到
fight
多
with
大的
me.
烦
I
恼，
don't,
什么灾
I would
难，甚
rather
至
you
痛
would
苦，
rush to
睡
stand
觉
up
过
and
去之后，第2天该起床必须
yeah.
起床，必须修炼，必须做好今天该做的任何的事
Even
情。
if the last day you were
啊，
tired and
这
today
就
you
是我
would
的做事习
definitely
惯
get
啊。
up and do
所以
whatever you're
你呢，
supposed to do. So this is my habit.
孩子，
And
你
so
的未来不要毁在自
your
己手里，
future, I hope it
勤
won't
快一
be
点就能
ruined
成
by
功。
yourself.
嗯
If you're more
嗯，
hardworking
好，还有
and
没
more
有？
接下来
diligent,
还
you
是
will
来自于
succeed.
澳洲的一位14岁的小朋
And
友宋
宋
嘉
嘉
欣
欣
Zoe，她的一
Zoe
个
is
苦恼
only
是什么
14
呢？
years
她
old
会
from
说，在学校里
Australia
经
too.
常同
And
学们有一个群， 然后呢，
her
男生就会
problem
喜
is
欢跟
that
她
she's
恶
from
作剧。
Melbourne
当她
and
不理这些男生的时候呢，
they
男生
have
就会
a
取外
group,
号，还在聊天群里面拿来开
a
玩
long
笑。
line group,
所以
but
群里面的同学就
the
听到她
boys
的外号
always
就会一
tease
起
her
跟风
and
啊，跟
make joke on
一
her,
起
and
就是嘲笑她。
so
她说，
other
其实她碰到
kids
这种
would
情形蛮苦
also
恼的，
laugh at
她想
her.
放下，但是心
And
里就
she wanted
一
to
直很
stop
烦恼，
this, but she
一次一
can't.
次的被
And
同学
every time she
拿
wants
坏
to
话
let
嘲
go,
笑
but
自
she
己，
still
她
feel
很
very
烦躁。
frustrated.
当她想制止他们
And
的时
when
候，
she wants to
这
stop
个
them,
Zoe 会觉得我
Zoe
怎么也
felt,
变得那
how
么粗
come I
鲁啊？
also
所
became
以她
very
感到
rough?
很无
And she
力，
felt
没有
very
办法制
hopeless
止他
and
们，
she didn't
她
know what
因此
to
睡不着
stop
觉，
them. and because of that, she couldn't sleep well, and she didn't know what she need to do, what she can say, what she can do, because her mom is very strict. She didn't tell her mom, and this even affected her attitude towards her younger brother, because her younger brother is a boy too, so she would blame her younger brother, and she disliked her younger brother. either. And so she know that this is wrong, but she didn't know what to do. When other people are teasing her, what should she do to stop them? How she can control and manage her emotions? So Joyce, can you say something? Well, if they have a nickname, it's not a big deal. Yeah, if you're working and your colleague gives you a nickname, that's okay if they call your names. Well, they both said that they had been called names before, and when they change environment, they had a nickname in the school and a different nickname in another company. Yeah. So Grandmaster said, well, when you have a nickname, it's easier for other people to remember you. Sometimes these nicknames are not very it's not very pleasant. Maybe some people call you a black pig because you're strong, but you can also call other people an ox or a wild sheep, but they feel like calling your names, they feel happy, but that also helps you to be famous. Don't take it too seriously. Don't be don't stuck here. Just let go. If your classmates tease you, they actually, it doesn't mean that they don't like you. If they don't even look at you and don't mention about you, and what if they, what if you're left out? It's even worse, right? Being called names, you can tease each other. Yeah, don't always stuck there and make it a grudge there. Yeah, you can tease yourself, right? Sometimes. If they say, oh, a big girl, sometimes you can even call yourself your nickname, and so you make it very easy and light and fun. You can be humorous and very relaxed at it. And, because calling names sometimes, especially between the kids, they're making fun of you, maybe because they remembered your one of your quality, and they just used a nickname to remember this. Don't consider this as a humiliation. If you think this is a humiliation, you would feel bad about it. If you don't think it's a humiliation, you will be liberated. So, don't also call everybody's name. This is revenge. If you are trying to take revenge, you would also suffer from it. Actually, when they are calling your name, sometimes maybe they think you're lovely. Yeah. When they call names, a lot of the names are very creative, right? They are very observant, and therefore they call nickname. Maybe you can say, oh, you're very observant, or something like that. You can say that. You know, a lot of people like to call their own, say their own disadvantages. You know, they know that they have some weakness, like Jia Ling. It's a very famous actress, a little, you know, overweight, but everybody loves her, and everybody make fun of her, you know, size. But Jia Ling didn't feel it's a humiliation at all, and she would consider her size kind of the source of laugh. Like she would make fun of herself. So young friends or older friends, if other people call your names, don't take it too seriously. Maybe it's a friendly gesture, and just feel okay for it. If you can't pass this, then it means that you're not very good at socializing. I'd like to remind you, once you come out of your home, ever since you go to preschool, you're starting to socialize. You know, those little kids would say, "Oh, that's my friend." A 2-year-old would say, "Oh, that's my girlfriend. That's my other girlfriend." That 2-year-old boy would. He didn't know what girlfriend means. He just think that they like to play together. When you go to school later and start working, you need to have friends. And so Zoe, when you are watching this live feed, if you look at the live chat, you will see a lot of your aunties, uncles are leaving in the live chat and telling everybody what their nicknames are. And sometimes they even put the nicknames in a song and create a song with the nicknames. So, okay, you can. Okay, I'll sing this song. Oh, when I was little, my mom called me a dead monkey. And then I would say, "Oh, Mom, this dead monkey is alive now." Actually, your mom loves you, and that's why she called you dead monkey. And sometimes little kids, when they like you, they won't say "I like you." They will tease you. They will make fun of you. They would even beat you, and they are waiting for you to beat him back. And so this is a friendship, a friendly action. And sometimes some kids are like, "Oh, why do you poke me?" And they would cry. This is like not fun. You should learn to be fun and play with the other kids. And so in socializing, that kind of, very innocent, don't be too sensitive. Don't be, learn everybody is leaving. Oh, look at these live chat. Everybody is leaving in the live chat saying their nickname is like, my nickname is audience. My nickname is Little Mouse. My nickname is lean meat. This is so fun. Thank you all for sharing your nicknames with all of us. And so Grandmaster said you should learn how to socialize. Don't be too sensitive. Maybe you should have what we call thick skin. Yeah, if other people tease you, it's because they like you. Always remember this, okay? Yeah. Okay, and now let's pass. And so next question is from this child. This from Xiaojuan is about her child. She said her child is in the university now and is very good at school and also good at sports and always represent the school to take part in competitions and get good position. But recently, her child is not in a good mood because some of her classmates intentionally bully her, like orally, and and leave her out, and she felt very sad and even have nightmares because of this. And so you two tell me why sometimes you will leave this child out. Well, Joy said some kids, they are very popular, but even though they are very good at studies, but they also play with the other kids who are not very good at studies. But some kids, maybe they're like the leader of the class, and they're so good in studies, and the teachers like them very much, but they like they're always very serious. The teachers like them very much, but the classmates don't like him or her. And so this kind of child, you probably need to learn how to how to socialize with your friends. I know that one student in another class, she's very, very good at her studies, but like but she is like
我们在同学期间啊，其实一般来说，你学业好，其实大家还是比较敬佩你。
Yeah, but she's too serious and not fun at all. Usually, if you're good at studies, but if you're also good at sports, usually people will respect you. But if your personality is not very, pleasant, if you're very arrogant or something, Okay, so Joyce had an example. A young man, he had a nickname, maybe some people call his nickname, and then this young boy would immediately go to tell the teacher, teacher, this boy called me this nickname, and so he's so serious, and so all the other kids will not like him anymore, so he cannot play with the other kids. And maybe some other kids, maybe they are very good at their studies, and maybe they're just only know about studies, and when other kids are playing sports or maybe singing or playing games, he would not go there. And other students would think, the classmate would think, oh wow, you're so serious, they don't want to play with you. And one child, he is very good at physics. He wanted to skip one grade. He wanted to go to he's now, say for example, grade 8, and he wants to go to grade 10 or grade 11. But the teacher asked him not to skip one grade, but this child always said, oh, look at my physics, I had such good marks. And he always talk to the teacher. Hopefully the teacher would allow him to skip one grade and go to another grade. And so everybody felt very unhappy. Even the teacher felt like you're kind of pushing me or forcing me to allow you to go to another grade. And so if you're too pushing, so Grandmaster say the teacher might feel that this child is not very, innocent or not very naive, not like a child, and to care about their face. So the teacher won't be happy. Well, so this child is still in the university. She still have time to actually try to socialize with other kids. If you are very good at studies, you can maybe help others and don't be so solitude. And and maybe during if there's a holiday, maybe you can go out and have dinner together, or maybe go to watch a movie together or something like that. And so if you make some jokes or something, it would be very normal. And Grandmaster says some kids, they are not very good at socialize with other kids, but he's very good at his studies. And this child said oh, they're not very good at studies
因此呢，
because they have very
他在
low
表达的时候
IQ.
呢，
So when he
说这
says
些都是
something,
低智商的孩子
he
们，
would say, oh, those
我
kids
才
are
是高
low
智商的，
IQ
是
kids.
吧？
My IQ is
那
high.
有一个人的妈妈就跟我
And
说，
so one
说我这个
mother
孩子太
told
聪明
me,
了，
said, oh,
他从
my
小对天
child
文哈，
is
7岁的时候
so
对天文
smart.
学，
And
他能
only 7 years old,
背得下差不多
he
将
can
近100个星星
already
的名字，
remember
就是天上的
the
星空的
names of
这一
more
般
than 100
一
stars.
般都不会的嘛，
对呀，
根本就说不上几个名字，对不对？
Yeah, he's
所以
so interested and good at
老师也赞美说这个智商挺高的。之后呢，他就和这个当然很多科目上也非常好，
astronomy.
就是考试的科目比较好。
But this child is
他自己
also
给他
very
自己的
good
定义就
in
是
many
我是一
exams.
个高智商的，
And
因为
he
智商
thinks
太
that,
高，
oh, I
所以
have
和
very
同学
high
们那
IQ.
些低智商的同学们就玩不到一起。
Because he has high
那我
IQ, he
建议是这样
cannot
哈，
play with the low IQ
就是
kids.
真有这样
But
的
my
天才，
suggestion is that even if you are
这是也
gifted,
是你的天分是吧？
well, this is your
如果是
talent,
这样，
right?
天分也是你的天意，那你
And
觉得能够自我享乐，
if
这
you
种感觉
feel
也是
like
可以的。
you enjoy
但是呢，
by
那我们
yourself,
写信来的这位同学呢，那你处在这个状态，你又很痛苦 你和同学们玩不到一起之后，你很烦恼。
in
觉
the
得被
letter,
孤立了，
this girl
一
actually
定是很
feel
烦恼，对不
left
对？
out or
那所以
feel
的话呢，我觉
alone,
得
and
就像我
so
们
you
学
feel
佛啊，
very
学
bad.
禅修就是这样，
So what
通
to
常不
do?
怪别人，
Usually,
纠
when
正
we
自己，
learn Buddha
我
Dharma, we
哪些
don't
事情做得不
blame
对，
others. We would
我哪些想法不
look
够好，
into
或
ourselves.
者我的语
Is
言
there
表
anything
达
that I
我不
didn't
太
do
会表达
well?
语言，
Maybe I haven't
那
expressed
些
in
可
a
以学
good
习，对吧？
way. I can
还有我的
learn
态度
to
不够好。
express better, or maybe my
那其实有
attitude
同学
is
说出
not
话
so
来
good.
哈，是怎么
Some
难听就
people,
怎么说。
when they
有
say
些同学呢
something,
就
they
很会说话，
are
很会说话的同学
not
通常
very
比较
good
聪
at
明。
choosing the right words. Some people are
那
very
有
good
些
at
人他也
choosing
会取得成就，但是说话
very
特别难听，
appropriate words. Some
那
people,
这样的头脑就不灵光。
they
所以的
don't
话呢，
know what
我觉得
yeah
我们这位
a
同学
proper
可以
way of
思考一
communication.
下自己，
And so
你自己错在哪里了。
maybe you
那错误
can
的部分
reflect
可以
on
尝试着
yourself and
进行
see
学
if
习，
you have done
比
something
如
not
专门
so
学习社交的
appropriately.
语言。
Maybe you can
社交语
learn
言
how
其实
to
哎，
deal with
怎么讲
others,
哈？
like
其
the
实我也
language to
其实也
use.
有社交恐惧症、社交
Actually,
障碍症，
I
因为我从小
also
比较
have
自闭嘛。
obstacles in socializing because my childhood, I had
就是
even like
通
that
常我
kind of
见了人我不知道
autism.
要说
When
什
I
么，
see people, I don't know
哎，
what to
我也有
say.
这个问题。像你们俩那
I
么
I'm not
超
like
级
you
聪明的
two.
人，
You two are very,
你
you know,
小死猴儿你还不
outgoing.
会说，
我
小死猴儿说，
就是小死猴儿，对，
Yeah, Joyce is calling herself
没话找话说。
哎，社交就是
little
这样。
dead
见了陌
monkey.
生人的时候，其实没有共同语言，你要
And
得
when
想
you
对
see
一
a
些
stranger, you
能够
actually
产
don't
生
know
共鸣
what
的
to
语言才
say.
行
You
啊。
need to find
比如
out
说，
some words to say or
但是我会
something
发
to
现你
say.
没话找话说的时候，
When
你
you
就
don't
是
have
会
anything
菜
to
找到
say,
经
but
常
you
会发
try
生这
to
种情况。
find
那教一下我
something
们
to
呢？
say, then you're definitely say something inappropriate.
说
But
天气肯定不会错，
well, so Christine said, "Oh,
肯
at
定
least we
肯
can
定
talk
会
about
是就
weather,
是这
but
样
it's
子。
not fun, of course."
但是不知道呀，就是你
I don't know.
看跟什么样的群体在一起吧。
It depends
有没
what
有心
kind
理
of
准备
group.
哈？
我想起来一
没
个，
有。
And
啊，
Joyce thought
那这个孩子他问问题，这个孩子他
this
学习
child
又挺高的，
is actually
对，
very good at studies.
但是我记得师傅给我们讲
But I remember, Grandmaster, you mentioned an exam
那境界很
about
高啊，
Zhuangzi.
多么平易，多么
He's
高的一个
like
人呐！
such a
但他好像
cultivated
跟贼也合得来
person,
耶。
but
他是
he's
入境随俗的
even
人。
okay.
讲讲
Yeah,
这
he
个
can
例子，可能对
even
我们有启发哎。
you know
因为他是一个
live
超高的人
with
嘛，
the
但是也
thieves.
当然也希望
Well,
说
can
能
you
给像这个小朋友
Grandmaster
这个问题
teach
的
us
人
something
哈，能
about
有一点
Zhuangzi?
启发。
Um,
那
well,
有一次呢，因为他是到处走啊，
So Grandmaster said one time, 庄子 is not like, oh, having a wife and then will stay home forever. He likes to travel. He's a super philosopher, a crazy philosopher. You cannot lock him in. If you lock the door, he would come out from the window. And he actually traveled and made friends with many kings. But when they invite him to be an officer, he doesn't want to. He didn't want to because he felt it's not fun. And one day he was caught by some bandits. Yeah, a lot of kings or officers, because they all want to be friends with 庄子. And they found some gold and silver and some precious jade balls. And then 庄子 said, you can kill a younger person. You kill me, I'm too old. It's hard to chew, right? Yeah, you see, if you chew me, my meat is very sour. Let's go find a younger person and then we can eat a younger person. And the bandits didn't want to kill him because he's so funny. And he had lots of books. Oh, you read? And so 庄子 said, yeah, of course. And so the bandit said, you can teach me. Well, and 庄子 said, you should treat me in a good, better attitude. You should give me some dishes and some alcohol. And, he even persuaded the bandits. And the bandits even wanted to be very polite bandits. So they made 8 dishes. And they even became brothers. And they played with the alcohol. And then, so the bandit said, you should teach me something. And 庄子 said, you need to ask questions. And then they said, oh, we caught a rich merchant. We need to write a letter to send to his family. Within 3 days, you need to bring 100 liang of silver. And then 庄子 said, you can't write a letter like this. Don't easily kill that merchant. You don't eat human meat, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, oh, okay, that's good. You don't eat human meat. You just want money, right? You just, yeah. You caught him just because you want money, right? What if he cannot get 800 yuan? Yeah, and then the bandit said, yeah, 800. Would that be okay? The bandit said, that's okay. What if 50% off, like 400 liang? And so in the letter, you should say, okay, I think that this man is very kind, very nice, and, we don't want to kill him. We also need money, right? We need money. And so it's very gentle. It said, we need money. And if you can give us 500 liang or more gold, then we will set him free. And if you don't, then we will never set him free, even though we don't kill him. And when the merchant family received the letter, they actually gave them 800 liang. And they said they received 800 liang of silver, and they set free the merchant. And Zhuangzi told the bandit, you need to keep promise. Next time, Yeah, this time, this they give you 800 yuan and you keep your promise and set free. And yeah, so in the future you will have the reputation. People will think, oh, these bandits have a good reputation. They will keep promise. And so in the future they will follow your instruction. You know, and Zhuangzi actually lived with them for 2 years. And
所以
yeah.
后头慢慢的就成了江湖上一定要讲义。
And therefore, he actually leads the tradition of even bandits. You need to have the virtue of, you're not robbing everyone. You're robbing only the person who, you have a reason, right? It's because you're trying to follow the way to balance the money. Yeah. And so they love Zhuangzi so much. Even the bandits love Zhuangzi. They say, oh, this old man taught us so much. And they said, we really need to learn. We should learn from Zhuangzi. Yeah. When you go to that environment, you actually, you will try to adapt to the environment. But also, Zhuangzi actually changed the environment. So those bandits never kill anyone and so become very civilized bandits. Okay.
Next is a young person from US. She says that I feel like I don't have my interest for a very long time. I cannot persevere in my interest. Also, and sometimes I feel that I'm not good enough. When people praise me or my work, I would doubt it if it's real or not. Master always say to focus on one skill, but where should I focus? I am going to be graduating from high school and going into university. I always feel scared. And I like 3D design and modeling, but I'm also considering psychology as well. Which field should I go into? Where should I set my foot? How do I become more confident? Master, could you give me some suggestion? Thank you, Master.
视频我们就不采用了哈。因为这个问题也
Okay,
比较
Master says that
简单哈。
this is a simple question.
那就是请教师傅哈，能不能帮容忍小朋友来解答他的问题
Uli is asking if Master could answer Rongren's
首先就是
question.
选择你读的这个科目啊。
First,
高中生面临高考啊。
You are a high school student, and
你对这个3D 的绘画设计 特别的喜欢。
choosing your field
同
of
时呢，多一个选择
study.
就是心理学。
So you like 3D design, and you also like psychology.
我觉得参考又结合你的面向感觉。 其实我觉得你
When
那个抗
consider
压力
your
天生
choices
是够
and
的。
also considering
一边喊
your
自己
facial
脆弱不
features,
行，
I
其实
feel
是
that
内
you
在还是强
actually
大的
have
孩
a
子。
strong tolerance for stress.
对。
Although you are saying,
但
although
是
you
我
say
想
that
如果
you
做
cannot
学
do
心
it,
理
but I
学，将
think
来
you
如果
are
做
very
心理咨
strong.
询师、心理医生的
If
话
you
呢，
choose
那我们
psychology
都
and
知道
become
的
a
哈。因为
psychologist,
天天
we
和
all
精神病
know
人在一
that
起哈。
because you are
因为
always
精
talking
神病人，
to
尤其是分裂症
patients
之类
with
的，
mental
他把
issues,
很多事
for
情看的
example,
是颠倒的。
schizophrenia
我们说好的，他
or
就觉得
other
不好。
issues,
我
their
们说太阳是
views
亮
are
的，他就看成黑
distorted.
的。经常
Something
被
that's
误导
good,
误
they
导
will
嘛。
think it's bad,
就
and
算是
what we
很有
say is
定律，
bright, they will
也
say
会
it's
被误导
dark.
的神经不正常。
Even
容易
if you
出这个
have
问题
a
啊。
firm, if you are firm and
那么
determined,
再就是
you
3D
might
这
be
个
influenced
这
by
个
your
行业来说的
patients.
话呢，我觉得还有，
And
因为随着现在就是这种
the field
AI
of
的
3D
就是高智
design
能性这个
with
科技和电脑的产
with
生啊，
AI
还有这个
and
量子电脑的产
with
生，
quantum
会对这个
computers,
设计这个行业呢，
it will help the
设计
field
或者
of
绘画这个
design
行业，
and
会
imaging.
产生一个你从想不到的
It will influence
超前
this
式的
field a lot,
这样
and
的
it will
设计
create
绘画，
um,
比我们人类的在电
very
脑的设计绘画
advanced
要高级很
imaging
多。
and even more advanced
那么，
than
所以
what
当
we
人
have
做这个
now.
3D 设计的行
So
业还有
if
多少年
you,
呢？
how long would you be
大概有
able to
15年
work
左右。
in 3D design?
15年以
Maybe
后，
15 years.
我的猜想哈，
because it's everything's in the future. So let me take a guess. After 15 years, you might need to change your career and do something else. But at least you can work for 15 more years in 3D design. And so I would lean towards 3D design. Also, technology is always updating itself. I knew a mechanical designer immigrated from China. Previously, when they designed a part, they would just buy it. They would design it, draw it on a piece of paper, and people who are manufacturing it will have to guess and imagine it and build it from a 2D drawing into a 3D model. And when he immigrated to Canada, he wants to continue his work as a mechanical designer. However, it's already about 15 years after his graduation, and to find a job in Canada, he has to be able to do 3D designs. And he had learned 6 years before he made it into a school in Canada. And I don't know if he made it or not. But if you like it, you can make it your career and try your best for it. Jin says, Master, so 3D design can only last for about 15 years. But what about 15 years later? What should he do? Master says, then this is a complex question. Many industries will change beyond our imagination after 15 years. For example, after 15 years, maybe very few people will be driving by themselves. Maybe it will always be automated cars. And then driver's license would be a souvenir or just a piece of ID. And people who want to drive themselves are trying to enjoy themselves in this activity. They will probably drive the manual shift cars. And so maybe just in 15 years, nobody knows how to drive anymore. And people who knows how to drive are the older generation like me. And in 15 years, it will be difficult to buy cars like today, because many regions will probably ban the cars, ban traditional cars, or ban cars that still use fossil fuel. Maybe only cars with only electric cars and natural resource cars are still running on the road. Also, some teachers may lose their job. Think about it. Discuss it. Many teachers, their education is limited. Wuli says, maybe I can choose classes from a database, the ones that I am interested in, so that maybe it's not the courses that are determined by a student, by a teacher. Jin says, right now, a teacher caring for 20 or 30 students is already a very small class, but in China, the class is much bigger. But if the teacher is not AI, then everything will be different. Master says, even during this pandemic, many secondary schools and many universities, the very good teachers, when they're teaching, you can go online and pay for their lectures. And would the students like this? They probably do. Because if that teacher is so much better, then learning from him is better than learning from your own professor. And this is already the traditional method without using AI technology. But if we're using AI technology, it will be even better than what we're talking about now. For example, the AI could find all the lectures from the top 100 professors, and they would analyze it and recompose it. Uli says, traditionally, we can only choose professors' classes from my own school, but in the future, we could choose courses through AI and maybe find the best professor from North America or the best teacher from the world. In the future, although the students are sitting in the classroom, they're not facing the traditional blackboard anymore. They're facing a multi-purpose screen. You can write and draw on there, and it could also do 3D demonstrations. For example, if you're studying geography, the AI might have already made typography, made how a volcano erupts into a movie, and you might even be able to smell something. And also mathematics, and also physics, and technological experiments. They could show it to you like a movie, a multi-sensory experience. And so in the future, you're not looking at a blackboard, you're looking at a multi-dimensional TV. Then how do we still need the traditional teachers? Uli says maybe the entire profession will be gone. Master says maybe each school only has 3 teachers. And there wouldn't be a traditional school anymore. Maybe it's a combination. Maybe 10 schools become 1 school, so that all the students can be managed together. All right, Rongren, you don't need to worry anymore. We will develop along with the technology. Maybe at that time we will have to adjust us based on the environment. We are at the time where technology evolves very fast. And so as you work in your industry, you might need to study something else, because there will be new industries developing. For example, right now there is a delivery company, right? What's it called? Delivery companies. There will be a lot of them. There were very few delivery companies previously. Jujun says we might not even need delivery companies anymore, and it could all be AI. Just enter your address, and an automated delivery delivers your pizza. The next question. This is a friend whose name is Shan Jia Pian. This is a lady. She's 36 years old. She's single. It's the first time that she writes to Master. She feels that I am an ugly duck. I am not confident about my looks, and I have many ailments. I don't have any income, and I have to rely on my parents. Ever since learning Master's Dharma, my health has been better before. Because I look very ugly, so I don't want to go out the door. Please help me to make my nose smaller. And my left kneecap has always been bandaged because my bones are not straight. If I don't tie it up, I cannot walk. The doctors don't have any good ways to fix it. I've dislocated my kneecap. My mind is foggy. My heart is uncomfortable. Master, please help me. I don't know what to do. Everyone discriminates me, and my parents dislike me. I'm very painful. Master, please bless me. Please protect me. Let my body and mind be healthy. Let me be filled with confidence to face life and face the road on. Thank you, Master.
这个问题我关注的还不
When
是
I
他
look
身
at
体
your
健康问题，
question,
我关
I'm
注
not
到
focusing
到
on
36岁没出去工作过。
your health, but that you
他
are
是说没出去
36
的原
years
因
old,
是因
but
为
you
自
have
己的
never
形象
worked
不太
before.
好。
You
有
say
一
that
点
you
丑
don't
是
go
吧？
out because you don't look nice, because you look ugly,
因此呢，我
because
就
you are not
做了一些
confident.
调查。
I've done a little
我调
research.
查的这个方向呢，是指
The
就是
direction
待在家里
is
不出门的，
how many people
都
stays
是些什么
home.
状态、什么原因？
Why do they not go out?
我们那个视频可以放吗？
Can we play a
收到那
video?
个视频不能放哈，有版权问题。
Okay, we found the video, but it's copyright protected, so we cannot play it to you. Jujun says she saw a video. This person is a graduate from a well-known university. When he ranked first in his provincial exams and got into Beijing's Technology University, and he had very good grades in the university, and he was assigned to a very large company in the Shanxi province. And after a year he left because there was not enough pay and there's not enough space for development, and it doesn't suit a graduate like he is. And his parents are very worried, and so his parents found him a job, and that job is a security guard, and he saw that he's looked down by his parents, and so he didn't work that job. And for many reasons, he didn't go out to work. He spent 9 years at home and just lived in his own space. I think he's become
这几年呢，我接触了很多位这样的孩子。比如说有一位呢，在美国
Master says he has
全球前20名的大学
seen
当
many
中，
children like
他是
this.
研究高科技的，
There
就是高能物
is
理学的，
someone he
比如
knows
说研究
who
原
is
子啊，
in
什么
the
氢弹啊，
US
就反正很
and
高级的这一类的
was
哈。
a high-ranking science researcher.
所以
He
很
was
小年龄就
in
被
the
美国
genius
这个
school,
特别好的大学录取了。
and he was admitted
就是
to
这些人出来
a
之
very
后
good
都是，比
US
如像
university
像
when
比如
he's
说美
very
国政
young.
府的一些机构就
And
请去做高
After
科研的
he
研究，
graduated, he was
那年
hired
薪
by
都
the
非常
US
高。
government to do scientific research.
最后他被一个大公司给录取了，
And afterward,
工
he
作了1年
was
半。
recruited by a large
1年半之
company.
后呢，
After
他
working
本
there
来
for
指
a
望
year and
取
a
得一些
half,
成就，结果被他上司给批了，
he was
给批评了一顿。
scrutinized
说
by
这
his
些钱白
employer.
花了，
Says
你们这个
that
研究这个啥呀？
they
这个
wasted
批评
their
了，
money and
批
time,
评了
that
他
their
就
research is for nothing.
一下就备受打击，
And he was struck.
辞职不干了。
And so he
不干了之后呢，
he
就
left the
回到家里
company
头，
and went back home.
关到自己的屋子里头，
He locked
因
himself
为他
up
们
in
家
his
住的是
room.
别墅
They live in a big house.
啊，轮换着刷父母的信用卡。
And so
但他
he
并没
would
闲着，
use his parents'
比如
credit
说他
card.
不吃父母亲做的饭，他要订餐，
He doesn't eat his
进到自己的
parents'
屋。
cooked food.
哎，
He would order
反正
food
每天在
and
卡
get
上
the
都能消
food
费很多钱。
delivered to his room.
父母呢被
And
逼
he
的也
would
有钱
spend
让
a
他
lot
花，
of money.
哎，找我
on
的
the
时候在
credit
家里关
card.
了3、4年了。
And when the parents came to me, he has locked himself up for 3 to 4 years.
我是说这个事儿哈，
对呀，
哎，他的父母呢有
His
钱，
parents
因为
has
他
a
那
lot
个
of
别
money.
墅也值上千万吧。
Their
那很贵。
house were
还
worth
有在
millions
中
of
国
dollars.
南方的最
And
富有的一个城市当中，有一个他们家的地产呢，
They have a piece of
反
real
正
estate
可能有价值几十个亿人
in
民
one
币。
of the
应该
most
是巨富哈。
prosperous
他家光出租
cities
房每个
in
月的
southern
租
China.
金都是一笔
And
巨资。
they can earn
那
a
这
lot
样的
of
老板
money
家的孩子都很聪明，
by renting out that
而他家
property.
的孩子也是这个现象，
And
非常
so
聪明。
the child
在一
is
个
very
公司里
smart.
头，在其他公司里头工作哈，4年，
this child worked in a company for 4 years, and he wanted to. He was also scolded by his employer, and once criticized, he left the company and locked himself up in his own room. From his secondary school to his university school, he has been praised by his teachers all the way through. You saw that he is a very good student, very good, very high intelligence. But once he started working, he's like a piece of glass. Once you touch it, it's broken. Also, they're staying at home. They're also spending a lot of their parents' money. His parents are very worried, and he just doesn't leave his room. Do you know why now? The letter that you read from our online friend, she feels that her looks are ugly. But I think that's just it's just an excuse. The few people that I know, they are wealthy and they just want to stay home. Many of them don't even tell you the reason. In China, we say that these are feeders. They would they chew, they bite. They would chew their parents' money away.
freeloader 就是坐那个搭顺风车了，是吧？
These are freeloaders.
没有这么生动的一个词。
There's no such creative description in English. It's like you bite, you eat, you chew. When we discuss this issue, Uli said something. He said that because they have something to eat, they have something to chew, the parents have food to feed them. No matter how unhappy they are at home, at least I can bring food into my room. Think about it in another aspect. In many Western families, the parents would send their children away after they're 18 years old. You can buy your own car, buy your own house, and find your own job. If you live in your home with your parents, then you have to pay for rent. For Chinese, we think that it's too cold. Then we should combine these and take the intermediary of these both. Jujin says, so the parents needs to be cruel for the best of their children. In the story that you read, we found the movie online. Because he came from a rural village and he ranked the first in the provincial exams and got into the aerospace university. He feels the merit because when he's in his village, he had the best academics. And he also received many interviews from journalists. And when he went back home and locked himself up, the reason is not because he didn't find a job, it's because he looked down on the job he found. In China, the universities are ranked. I graduated from the top university and you only pay me so little. And his father found him a job as a security job. His father wants him to be able to pay for himself. And his parents are farmers. They don't have enough money to just feed him. So what has destroyed him? Because he's a hypocrite.
所谓的品学兼优，一直做
when
状
he
元，
was
我
in
们叫榜
school,
眼榜首
we
这个
say
级别
that
的哈。
he always did
最后
the
就变
best
成这
in
个名分
exams,
害死他。
but this name has
对吧？
destroyed him.
在找工作的时候说，我
When he
这么
found
名
a
牌大学
job,
的，
he
那如果
say
这样
that
美国
I
哈佛
come
出来的时候
from
出
the
来的非
best
当总统不
university.
可，对不对？
But what about those people who
啊，
graduated from
一年
Harvard?
不给你100
Can
万，
they
我还不工
only
作了，
become the president?
那
Would
你就
they
饿死了。
would they not work if they are
那
not
你学
paid
到的
for
是
$1
什么
million
呢？
a year?
叫
Then
死
what
要
did
面
you
子活受罪。
learn? You
他不像我们
learned
这些不会读
you
书的，
only want
夹缝里
face,
生存，对不对？
but you don't.
没有人给你粮食，你要自己
But
创造
what
粮
about
食。
people like
实在不
us?
行，自己种粮食
We
啊，
make a
寻
hard
找一
living.
切机会
We
让
have
自己
to
生存，
find all the
是吧？你
opportunities
要
we
这样
can to
这种
make
精
a
神。
living, to survive.
那这些自由生呢？
But what about these advanced students?
还是有的啃，还是有。
Jurgen says
那
they
么多的
still
工作
they
机
can
会，
feed on others.
就是他
Master
要的
says
是
there are so
尊
many
严。
jobs available out
有
there.
时候要
But
尊严，你
they
没饭吃，是吧？没有尊
they
严，
want to
他可
be
能有饭吃。
respected. But sometimes
就是
if
我
you
觉得孩
want
子
that
自私，
respect, then you
他
don't
根
have
本
any
不体谅
food.
他的父母亲的辛苦和担忧啊。所以
And
我
I
一定
think
要做一
it's
个
they are just selfish.
有
They
荣
are
耀
not thinking about their
有荣耀
parents.
感的一份。
They feel that
职
they
位。
have to be in a
所以
dignified
在
position.
这些我统计了这些事儿之后啊，
And after looking at
我
all
就
these
总结出了
cases, my
另外一个口
summary,
诀，
I have another
啊
summary.
叫做会考试不等于会做事，
Doing well in exams doesn't equal
还有会做事
capability is
也等于
more
不
than
等于
good
会考试
grades.
啊，还有考得好不一定做得好。
Even if you have good grades,
所以
it doesn't
我们
mean
的家
that
长
you
呢
can
也
do
不要
well
一
in
昧的
society.
完全追这个读书的
And
成
so
绩，
our parents
啊
shouldn't only
所以
be
把这个
chasing
孩子呢，
after
这也是
your
一种习
children's
惯哈。
grades. And these are
因为很多家
are
庭和
habits
家
too.
长呢，就是想方
In
设
many
法供着孩子读
families,
书啊，读书读
they
书。
will only try
连家务活
to
儿看似脏一点的活儿，
they
就是
will
孩子不
only
要干，
ask
你
the
只要把书
children
读
to
好，
study. They
你就
don't
有一个美
even
好的未
ask a
来。
child to do
社会
any
在变化，
house chores.
已经变
The
了。
society is
这倒退
changing.
50年，是一个大学
Maybe
生多了
50
不起，对
years
不对？
ago,
不要
as
说名牌
a
大学，
university
就是普通
graduate
大学
is
生都了不
great.
起。在
And
以后的大学
it's
生
looked up
是
on.
人人都能上大学，
But in the
没有啥
future,
了不起。
everyone can go to the university.
所以这些大家好好对比一下吧，
So you should compare these.
觉真好好发挥一下。
觉真
这刚才说到的是这种高考状元，
觉真 says
哈，就是
Master talked about the
好面子爱了他
the dignity of a provincial, a top provincial exam
那回到刚才那个山鸦片他问的问题，他好像确
achievement.
实不资优哈。
But if we
他
come
没有
back
自
to
信
the
他长得
question
丑
of 山楂
那他就
片
有理由不出
she's
门吗？
she
那他
feels
父
that
母呢
she
哎
she
呦
doesn't
我
look
都替他父母
pretty
发
and
愁
she's
哎。
我们
ugly
把这几种
and
状
she
况
has a
都罗列
reason
起
for
来一
not
起分析，
leaving
也
her
就是
house.
都
But her
在
parents
找
are
理由
worried.
不出门，
Master
都
says
在
that
找理
they
由
are
啃老。
all making
这些人特
excuses
别没有良心，特
and
别自私。
they are very
首先，父
selfish.
母养你，把你养成
Your
一个成年
parents
人，
have
你用
raised
任
you
何的理由，
to
对
an
吧？
adult.
有的叫荣誉、
对，
You
面
can
子，
use
还
any
我长得丑，
excuse,
或者我
whether
学历
it's
不
your
够，
dignity,
种种
whether
的理
it's your
由，
looks.
折磨的是父母啊。
You are
父母
just
担心的是你
torturing
不
your
能自食
parents,
其力啊，养
but
不活
your
自己啊。
parents are worried that
所以
you
这
won't
些孩子
be
太自私了。
make a
对，就是
living
那
for
长得丑
yourself.
我就不理解，就是你长得，
觉真
有的
says,
人
I
家
don't
还有没手没
understand
脚的，
山
人家还能
楂片.
自食
She
其
feels
力
that
呢。
she's ugly,
太
but
多
there
了，
are
那
many
残
people
疾
who
的
are
什么的，
disabled
都
and
都
they
都
can
还
make a
能够
living
出去，
for
还能养家
themselves.
糊口
They
的。
go out
他再
and
丑，
work and
你有
feed
手
their
有
own
脚，你得工
families.
作
You
呀。
have hands, you
哎
have
呦，
feet, you
我
should
都没
work.
法理解，那
I
怎么
can't
骗人
understand
的
her.
是
How do we
嗯，
how do
帮
we
啊
help her?
咱们一步一步的来。
啊，
Master
香可
says
有
we
什
can
么
do it
故事
step
吗？
by step. 香可, do you have a
说到
story?
这个话题啊，就
嗯
让我有点
Master,
想到
when we
生
talk
活中
about
的一
this
个案
topic,
例。
嗯
I
就是我有一
remember
个亲
something
戚啊，
from
他就是
my own
从
life.
小，他
I
爸
have
就
a
是长得比
relative.
较漂亮，然后
She is
聪明
very
伶俐，
pretty and she's
所以就是
intelligent
就是很得父亲的喜欢，
and she's
然后得
loved
父亲的
by
疼爱。
her
那就
dad.
是
And because of this, her dad would fulfill all her wishes. And so this girl, she's an artist. She likes drawing. She wants to go into become an artist. But her father feels that being an artist is not very good. So her father doesn't allow her to learn arts. And so my relatives has to pick another faculty, and she chose something about chemistry, but she's not interested in it. And after 3 years, when it's at her final exam, she chose to hide. She just disappeared, and her parents are trying to find her, but they couldn't. And when she came back, the school gave her a chance that, do you want to take the exam again? She didn't want to take the exam again because she doesn't have any interest in it. And she feels that her grades wouldn't pass anyways. And so in the end, she studied for chemistry for 3 years but didn't get any diploma. And afterwards, the father felt very sorry, and he wants to fulfill his daughter's wish, so he sent her to an art school, and she went to a private art school in Singapore, and the tuition was very expensive, but the father really loved her daughter, so he sent her there. And maybe if she got what she wanted, she could graduate and find a good job. And plus, it is a career that it's an industry like she likes. But after she graduated, she didn't go out to find a job. She's always whining and complaining that her father pushed her to learn chemistry for 3 years, and that 3 years was wasted. And so she's always whining, and even after graduation, she didn't find a job, and her father brought her to a few interviews, and she always feels that she's very talented, but nobody recognizes it. She feels like she's very creative, but these jobs wouldn't let her be able to show her talent. And finally, she found a position in an art-related company, and after 3 months, she feels like her talent is not looked at, and so she decided to leave the company, and she would just stay home every day. Just like, but she doesn't stay in her own room. She feels she's unhappy, and she would have emotional tantrums, and she would throw things around, and her house is never calm. And she cries and tells her sister that, I feel that I need to leave. I need to go to Great Britain, and because there will be more opportunities in Great Britain. And because her father's business isn't doing well as before, so her older sister decided to take a loan to support her younger sister to go to Great Britain. But 2 years later, she graduated and didn't find a job. And she says that she contacted home and says that there's no opportunity for me in Great Britain, and now I want to go to the US. And at this time, the father is getting old, and his business, he is about to retire. And so the father thought that the father used his retirement money to support his daughter to go to a U.S. university for another 3 years. And so which school did she go to? her family doesn't know. She just says that I'm there and I'm in a university, and she asks for money from her parents every month. And 3 years later, finally she graduated, and she says that, okay, I found a job in US, and she just doesn't want to go home, but she's always asking for money from her parents. And she's now making a living for herself. She would take some pictures dressed very nice, dressed in brand name clothes, and send it to her family. And she would say that, okay, I'm working in US and my employer likes me, but she's still asking for money from her parents. She would open her hands and ask for money from her parents. And then in the end, her dad passed away, and they tried to contact her, and maybe they weren't able to contact her, and she didn't even come back for her dad's funeral. Master says the story that Xiangke tells, I feel that it's just selfish, too selfish. The parents was the parents owning a debt to this child? Xiangke says that she doesn't know what's gratitude. Everyone has been trying to help her in different stages of her life, but she's never satisfied. Even after her dad passed away, she continued to ask for money from her siblings. She came back after her dad passed away after 3 months. And after her dad passed away, she came back to take her inheritance. And afterwards, she disappeared again. And she's about 60 years old now, and she's been asking for money all her life. Master, I think there are many such people in different families. It's not exactly a freeloader, but Master says this type is the ones that the people who burns away money. She's selfish, and she doesn't know what's right or wrong. She feels like as long as she throws a tantrum or cries and she can get some money, she's not thinking about other people. And she has a habit of taking money from others. After her dad passed away, she continues to take money from her siblings. As long as she cries and yells, then she can get money. And it's become a bad habit. Jurgen says, yeah, there are people who are like this. If you don't give her money, then she will say that you are not kind and you don't care about her. But even if you give her money, she's not grateful at all. And even if you give her the money late, she would be very unhappy about it. And Clarissa says that right now, people are afraid of hearing from her. When they don't hear from her, it's good news already. I think it's a pity that she's wasted her life.
对，像这类话题啊，就是我自己也经历了很多，这我不方便讲了。
A lot of topics like this, and
往往你总是希望怀着一个美好的一种情感去帮助一些亲戚啊、亲人的哈。
When you help your relatives,
经常得到是说，
but
人家还挺
sometimes,
烦你。
but they
比如
feel
说我上
annoyed.
次感冒了，
For
我们通了个
example,
话。他说
I had a
我
cold
很讨厌他
once,
背后的话给别人说，
and
你看看，
he would
我
say,
都感冒了，我都告诉他了，
I've
他怎么也安慰
already
我
had
几
a
句，
cold,
说再给我
but
寄一些医
I
药
told
费
her
来。
about
那你
it.
平时费用我都给了，
But why
怎么
don't
这个时候没有说
she
寄个医
comfort
药费
me?
针对
And
感冒
why
这件
don't
事儿？
she
你
send me
忘了说
money
了，
to
他对
treat
方
for
就
my
讨厌你。
cold?
哎，他有时候这些事儿吧，就是你这听起来好烦。
When you hear these things,
说
you
每个家
feel
都有
it's
这样的
very
人。
annoying.
哎
But there are
但
such
是这个
people
啃
in
老
every
族这件事
family.
情很重要哈，不是
But
每
what
个家
about
都
the
有。
freeloaders?
但是这些人都是没有良心，
The
甚至没有人心的
freeloaders,
人。你在
they
外面
don't
可
have
能
a
受了一
human
点挫
heart.
折，受了一点打击。
Maybe you
我觉得
have
家长有
been
责任，光觉得说我只要考得好， 人就会变好。
maybe you have been knocked
就是因
down
为考得好，而且家里头
in
又
your
有财务让他可啃，
workplace.
所以他们就把自己窝在屋里
But
不
I
出
think
去。
it's the parents'
对
fault
吧？
too.
你说那
You
你
f-
新加坡的这朋友也一样，
And also
他
your
爸爸那儿
friend
不
from
管怎么着，
Singapore, no
爸爸
matter
把那
what
棺材本钱都
happened,
给了他了，
the
他不管这
father
些，
has
反正我要回
already
钱出来了。
given his
现在继续啃家
retirement
庭，
money
对不对？
to his daughter,
这些人
but
真应该
she
被人抛弃，
continues to take money from
抛弃他
her
反而好。
family. These
知道
people
吗？
should be abandoned.
他觉得
Once
我
you
就不给，我
abandon
不欠你的。
them, then
他就可
everything
能
will
找
be
工作。
fine, and then they
啊，
might be
因
they
为这
might
些
try to
我
find
说
a
的都
job
是有些认识
themselves.
的人，一说可能就是伤害，我就不再
I
不便
don't
多
want
讲。
to name the people, and you might
就是说
because you
家
might
做
know
这样
these
的
people.
家人的话哈，
And I
宁
don't
可
want
就
to
是被
hurt them.
他误解，被他
Judging
骂。
says for
但是其实为
these
了他好，
types of
还是
family
第一不要再
members,
给了。
we'd
第
rather
二，还是
be
要去让
scolded
他
by
自己
them.
独立的生
And
活。
for the best of them, we
啊，
shouldn't be giving
不
them
然的
money
话
so
就是
that
无底
they
洞，无底
learn
洞就没
to
完没了。
they
包括
learn
这个啃老
to
族也
learn
是，那
to
啃
live
老的啃
independently.
到哪一天是
And
老
also
啊？
the
那36 岁
freeloaders,
都
how much
没有
can you
出过
take
门儿，
from
都
your
没有那个
parents?
工作
You're
过，
36 years
36
old
呢。
and you have never
哎
worked a
呦，
day
我
in
都
your
没法理
life.
解。
I cannot
我们听
understand
了
it
之
at
后
all.
啊，我们也善意幻想，
Master
我都
says,
替他父母
we
亲发
are
愁。
36
we're
到父母也得
imagining, and
60
I
多
feel
了吧？
sorry
你
for
想父母
your
亲愁
parents.
死了，
How
就
much
是啊。
does your
哎，这是
parents
什么东
worry?
西呀？
What
所
have
以
I
大家说
raised?
不生孩子吧，还觉得是
Many
遗憾。
people say that if
争
you
着
don't
抢着生
have
孩
a
子，
child
等你
yourself, you
好不容易把
feel
他养大了之
regretted.
后，等他
But
成人了，
once you
这
have
个
a
时候他
child
犯浑
and
才是真
once
气
you
人，
raise him to become
哎，
an adult,
是吧？有
when
很
they
多
go
就是来
wrong,
害父
then
母的
it's very
啊，来吃父母的，这个都
worrying.
不是最狠的，但是这些
The
人都没有什么人
freeloaders
心和
are
良
not
心。
the worst.
嗯，就是你对他太好了，
You're too
说
nice
你
to
这
them.
挖不
You're
出
too
钱来的
good
时
to
候，
them.
他啃什么呢？就没什么好
When
啃
when
的。
they cannot find any money, cannot take any money from you,
那
what
所以
else
的
can they
通常
take?
来说哈，
Nothing else.
就是人的习惯。通常来说，就是
Usually,
让你说家里是有钱的这种啃老族的这个孩子呢，就是这样，因为你
if the
咱们说
family
先从
is
说没
very
钱来说，
wealthy,
比如说你先生
let's start from
作
the
为父母亲
families that are
拼
not
命努
very
力赚钱，
wealthy. The
是因为你两手
parents
空空家里
will work very
对不对？
hard
一
to
个空
earn
房
money
子，
because you don't
你
have
才会
anything
努力
at
去
home.
赚钱，把钱搬回家
That's
里
why
来，对
you
不对？
work very hard to
但是到了
bring
你
money
孩子那一
home.
代呢，你家里有
But
钱
what
瞒
about
不住，
your
他也知道，
children?
对不对？
对，
所以
When the
他
children know that the
的
family
满
has
心
a
的
lot
想象
of
是什么呢？
money, then they imagine
他的工作就是我怎
they
么把钱花
imagine
掉，
that their
花
job
掉
is
之后
to
把屋里
spend
的
the
钱就拿
money,
到外面去了。
to take
你
some
是买
money
车买
from
房卡
inside
路
the
飞不
house
都
to
是把
outside
钱
the
给别
house
人
to
了吗？
buy cars, houses,
何况还有那
and
么多诱惑
karaoke.
啊，
And
什
there
么
are a
跑
lot
车、
of
金钱、美女、大房子，还有花天酒地，它
lures
都是很吸引
outside.
人的。
There are many things that attracts
等把它花光了
the
之后
young
呢，再
children.
到了重
And
生的
after
那一代
you
的时候，说
spend
穷
all
透
the
了，
money,
在屋里
what
白
about your
白
grandchildren?
想挖
When you
草都
don't
挖不
have
着的
any
时候，
money at
很
home,
努力
their
吧，
grandchildren
说
starts to
你们
work
对我
hard
都指
again.
望不上，所以我必须
The
要自己努力。
grandchildren cannot rely on
哎，
any
你觉
of
得
you,
他又
so
可
he
怜，
has to
但
work
是
hard
又可怜的
himself.
时候，他才努力了。
You feel that it's
就是这样。
pitiful for the grandchild,
但你等
but
感
at
觉
least
他已
he's
经富贵
working
的时候
hard.，
接下来他这些年轻的这一代
When
人和他的下一代，
the family
要把这些
is
钱搬出
wealthy,
去，
then the younger
就来烧
generation
钱的。
will
你
burn
看透这个
all the
规律，
money
所
away.
以那
When
怎么
you
样
can
做得
see
更
through
好
this
呢？
pattern,
除了人
then
的
how
方法
can
之
we
外，
do
人
better?
人是可以想方设法的，是吧？你
Humans
带孩
can
子去做布
make
施
a lot
啊，
of solutions.
哎，
You can
做这
bring
些
your
改革
children
性的这
to
些工作，改变他
do
行为习
to
惯的这个工作才可以
do
啊。
almsgiving
当然还需要一份
and do some
我说的
things
不
that
行，这
can
是功德的部
change
分。
their
对，
habit and
所以你
create
很
merit
难
for
说
them.
你拼命了一辈子，你养的是一个败
It's
家子
very
儿吗？
difficult
很多都
once
是
you
未
have
知数
been
吧，
working hard for all your
非常未
life.
知数。
Do you
当一个
raise
人成了
someone that
成年人继续犯浑的时候，
waste all your money
才是
away?
最难管教的。
And when an adult
有的
child
时候觉得
spend
家里
all
的
that
经济
money
条
away,
件
that's the
特别的富
hardest to
足的时候
change.
哈，不知道
Uli says
是
when your
否是
family
否哈
is very wealthy. We don't know if it's fortunate or not. When we were young, when we were going to school, We all feel that we should use education to change our life. Not only do we have a good life ourselves, but also change our parents' life, buy them big houses. We're always thinking about, through my hard work, I can earn money, save money, and change my parents' living style. We never thought that we could take money from our parents, probably because our parents didn't have any money to give us anyways. People can take advantage of their parents because their parents are too compassionate. They are giving everything to their
这是我也
children.
送给这些窝在家里啃老或者没有在窝在家里想方设法
And
消你父
to
母
the
亲赚钱的这
freeloaders
些人
and to the
哎
children who
消掉
are
你们家财富的这些人这
wasting
些
your
败家子
parents'
们
money.
其实你是要自甘堕落
You are letting yourself
一个
fall
草民
into
变
hell
成将来
from
死在路边
you're
要钱的人
changing from
啊
a wealthy
你将来
person
会
to
受
a
惩罚
homeless person, and you will be punished
所以
one
这
day.
是这形同于自作恶呀
This is
啊将来就
creating
变成
bad
自作自
karma for yourself, and you will taste
有报
that
应
bitter
对，
payback.
父母亲着急是什么？父母亲着急
The-
的就是说，
Uli says the parents are worried. They're worried that one day when we are not around, what can you do if you cannot make a living for yourself, if you cannot find a job? We will all leave one day, then where will you be? A homeless. Many
最后害了孩子
many
就没
Chinese
有给他
parents
自
have a
己的
very
去创
soft
业
heart,
创
and
造
that
命运
has
创造
destroyed
自己命运
our
未来的
children.
这样一个发
We
展
don't
空间
give them
尤
space
其是
to
把钱给他
create
给
their
足
own
了是吧
future,
什么房
especially
租
when
学
we
费
give
生活
them
全
enough
给足了的
money,
时候
enough
谁
money
创
for
造呀
rent, for
创
tuition,
造力
then
都是
who
来自
wants
于
to
压力
create?
啊
Creativity
创
comes
造
from
力来
that
自于压力
comes from
啊
pressure,
没有
comes from
创造
stress.
有没有
Because
才
they don't
创造
have
要谁
it,
创造
they have to
因为创
create
造本
it.
身和撞墙一样痛苦
Creation
对
is as painful as
所以
banging
欢迎
into
物
a
理给
wall.
大家唱半首心太
Uli,
软
why don't you sing a song for us?
怎么唱？
正
How
经
do
点
we
唱
sing
正
it?
经点唱
啊
好吧
那歌词儿我需要个歌词儿啊。你总是心
You are
太
always
软
too soft.
心太软
Your heart is too
独
soft.
自一个人流泪
Crying
到天亮
Alone until
后
dawn.
面是什么？我无怨无悔
You love
爱着那
的
个娃，
that
爱着那
person.
个娃
You love that
却
baby
我知道你根
with
本
no
没那么坚
regrets.
强
啊，我知道你却
But I
根本没
know
有
you are
坚
not that
强
strong at all.
谁让你心太软？
You are always too
心太
soft.
软。
Your heart is too
哎反
soft.
正父母亲就是心太软啦，
Our
心太
parents'
软到
hearts
最
are
后
just
都
too
是害了
soft.
自己的娃
And
呀。
in the end,
嗯
it destroys your own child.
应该把歌词给物理师姐准备好哈
啊，有
对啊都没打印出来这个都
You
不
should
行啊
print
哈
the lyrics for
Ah.
Uli.
不是这个，
他唱的也挺伤心的，就是
啊这一
唱不下去了。
对一伤感唱不出来了
It's too sad.
下
She
次再给
cannot
大家唱
continue
啊
singing.
嗯
Maybe we'll sing next time.
这个了，真是真的挺伤心的。
It's
我们一
too.
直讲
This
就是
topic
心
is
要
so
柔软
sad.
柔软
We
但是只有
Uli
在
says
这
we
个
always
时候
say
保
that
护
our
心的柔
heart
软
needs
真
to
的
be
是这样
gentle,
害了我们的
but
下一
at
代
this time, being
像我
gentle,
们这
being
一代
soft
就是父母
only
有
harms
分担的
our
生活
next
我那时候也
generations.
没有那么
When
富
we
足的时
were,
候也
Jujun
我们也
says,
没有
when
拖
we
延
were
症
young,
哪有拖延
when
症
we
啊
didn't
你
have a
饭都
very
吃不
good
上
life, we
啊
didn't
啥都
procrastinate.
抢不上
If you
对
procrastinate, you
吃饭
wouldn't
得
have
什
any
么
food
都
to
得抢
eat.
的
对
You have
哪有
to
拖延症
run
太
to
多了
catch the
很
bus.
多年
We
轻
don't
孩
dare
子
to
是受不了苦
procrastinate.
你包括
Master
说跟我
says
来
many
学
young
啊
child they
有
couldn't
些
stand
家
any
长啊
pain.
受益嘛就觉得我本人对他来说是个传说
Many
孩子有大学
parents
毕业有
come
大学没
here
毕业
and
到师傅那儿去好好修
and
炼啊
benefit, and
能
so
学
they
点什么
send
东
their
西
children
有很
to
多就
me to
扛不住
learn something.
只
But
是你要
many
是
of them couldn't
早晨
stand
练功的
working
时
with
间
me.
他起不
For
来床
example, I
要不
asked
就找着
you
各
to
种理
wake
由
up
请
at
假
a
不
certain
起
time to
还有呢
practice,
是
and
我
they
在
would
跟前
find
我不
different
在跟前他表现
excuses
完全不一
to
样
not
做
get
的动
up.
作没一个标准
And when I'm
啊
around or when
是吧
I'm not
作
around,
息
they
时间
behave
就不
differently.
一样你说你
And
那么累到了晚上应该几点上床睡觉
say
了
that you're
不
very tired,
就在那
then you
划手
should go
机
go to bed
是吧
on time, right?
你
No,
比如
they
说
would
你
just
对初级的
um, play their mobile phones. And say that if we are testing the students for 3 years, they would run away after a year. If I take 80 disciples, only 1 or 2 will be left after a year because they couldn't take on the hardship. So many people say that they want to come and study with me. But in my advanced classes, to become a true Dharma disciple, I will not set up an actual class, but you will follow me around and work and practice at the same time. And you probably have to learn from me for at least 7 years. And I don't know if you would graduate after 7 years. And I think only very few people could make me satisfied to graduate. But the quality will be very good. Only you have so much education and so much Dharma power that you can graduate from me. And such people will be able to benefit all sentient beings. All the disciples who graduate from me are those who are better than me, who work harder than me. And everyone who's working at the center right now, you are not up to my standards yet. Not that you cannot just attend a retreat for 12 days and say that you are my disciple. If you haven't passed the test, then you haven't learned anything. Although you have learned a method, but your heart is not up to the state yet. Do you think that the awakening is a firm state? No, it's like a round ball on a hill. Once you let it go, it will roll down the hill. You need time to learn and to settle. So don't just blindly write to me. Some mothers are very kind. They say that my child is 23 years old. He cannot make it into a school. Why don't he come to you and study with you? Don't write me letters like this. If your child is not hardworking and is lazy and cannot even run, and you're a man and cannot do 20 push-ups, then what can you learn from me? I don't want such students. And also to learn from me, you have to pay tuition. And that tuition depends on how much you have at home. If you have $1 million, then you will need to pay me 100,000 to learn from me. And only maybe then, through a lot of hardship, you will be able to learn a little bit. If you don't qualify, then don't write to me. There are so many children that makes me so angry. Is there more stories that makes me angry? Next is a story from Rongcun, and she made a video to ask her question. She wants to know how to choose a career. Let's look at her video. Dear Master, my name is Rongcun. Thank you for your blessing. I am a girl. This is my mom and my dad. Hi, Master. My name is Rui Chuan. I'll let them go for now. I've been to Bodhi meditation for 8 years. 8 years ago, I was a new immigrant that arrived in the U.S. in the last year of high school. I have successfully got accepted into university learning statistics and graduated. I'm 25 years old. I have a lot of thoughts, but I feel useless, and I feel that my capabilities does not match my thinking. Right now, I am working in an e-commerce company, and I like this job. And there are many challenges. I've learned a lot. My interest is in refitting automobiles. Although I'm not very good, but I have tried to do some refitting, and I want to change this interest into my career. Another question is that I am a girl and I really want love and marriage, but I have gone through a few relationships with no result, and I feel that my personality is not suitable for relationship and marriage. Master, could you please help me? Thank you. So she wants help with her career and relationship. Her entire family is very adorable. I saw that it's 3 siblings, 3 boys, and she's a girl and she's really into automobile refitting. I admire her. Uli says, as a girl, and even when we drive, it's very difficult for me to realize which button is for what. And she must be a very handy man. She might be able to sing like a man. I asked her already. She doesn't know how to refit automobiles. She has money, and she would take an old car and refit it to look like a sports car. And she has a short haircut. And she has a body of a girl, but she has a haircut like a man. She doesn't seem suitable for marriage, and also like a relationship. You are dressed like a man, then is a man marrying a brother or a wife? Usually, girls need to be girly, but you are... Sorry, Master just made a slang, a poem. It's like a man marrying a brother. And so the way that you dress isn't suitable for relationships. Although my words are cruel, but that's the truth. So if you really want to get into a love relationship, then change your looks. Make sure that you look like a gentle, kind, adorable girl. And Uli says, like she said in the beginning of the video, Master, I am a girl. So she knows that people sometimes think she's a man. Many young people wants to have love and wants to have a relationship. So you have to change your looks. Otherwise, people might be confused about your orientation. Let me recommend a wig for you. Choose a wig that's curly, like the lawyers in Great Britain, the white wigs that they wear. Juezhen says, if you wear such a wig, maybe people don't know where you come from. They might not dare to be in a relationship with you. And if you wear that wig and drive in a sports car, that wig might be blown away. Rongchen, your personality is probably very straightforward too. Master says that since you are a disciple, you're a young girl and wants a love relationship, you need to show your kindness, show your gentleness. Even every lady has their own personality. Being straightforward is not bad. But you cannot be as wild as a man. When you walk, don't walk like a soldier. When you walk, have smaller strokes And don't dress like a man.
确实她渴望有个男人来爱她。
Also,
但是
many
打扮太
women they
男
wish
性化了之后，
for
男人会有
man's
压力感。
attention,
这
but
这
when
到
you
底是
dress
哥们
up
儿
like a
还
man,
是一
the
个
man
可
might
爱的女孩
feel
儿？
confused. Is this a
是 没
dude
法给你
or
定位，
a
所以
brother
没法
or
下
a
手，
girl? Because
对
they
吧？
don't know
人
where
家找
to
你
put
恋爱的
you.
话，至少觉得
So
可
they
爱。男生找这个
they
女孩
can't
一
take
定要
you
就是
on.
有可爱感，所
And
以你要营
most
造
men
可爱，
wants to
说话
find
发点嗲，
a
是不是
girlfriend
啊？行为
that's
有点傻
adorable,
啊。
that's very girly.
你这样说，抽空就是我冷，是吧？
And
哎，
when there's nothing else
这
to
我是
do,
从绝
tell
真那儿
him
学
that
的
you
哈。
feel cold. I learned this
这网友不懂。
from 绝真 already.
绝真在美国恋爱，
绝真 found a
他们在
love
海边说我冷，
relationship in
啊，
US,
她这
and they
个
took a
美国
walk
男
on
朋
the
友一脚把她
seaside.
踹海里去了，
And
说到
when
海
she
水里
said
就
that
出不来。
she's cold, her boyfriend
其实我希
kicked
望
her
的是抱
into
抱
the
对
the sea.
他就说大海可以
But
拥抱你啊，
绝真 says that I
对吧？你
actually
要
wanted
跟他
him
没
to
谈
hug
成
me.
的。
对，你要让我抱的
And
话，
that's
你要
why
付
their
费才可以。这
relationship
美国
didn't
人就是
work
这样
out.
的，说我是出来一穷二白，是吧？啥都没有，你要找我
Her
干啥，只要
girlfriend
付钱，咱们好
probably saw
谈啊。
that anything you
只要
want
没
me to
钱，
do,
自
you
己
have
抱
to
自己
pay
是
me.
吧？
If you don't
嗯，
pay me, then
所
you
以
can
其实
hug
女孩子
yourself.
一定要学会女孩子
So
温
as
柔
a
可爱、
girl, you
撒娇
have
体贴这个
to
概念
to
啊。
be
这
girly,
这
to
个真的
be
是这样的。所以
gentle,
女生的一个标
adorable,
志
and
就
cute.
是长发加裙
And
子，再适当的加点有点跟儿的鞋啊，
and the
还要画点口红，
representations
好吧？
of a girl
这个
is
才代表是
long
女
hair,
生，
right?
否则
Dress
很难鉴
and
定你
some
的性格。
makeup.
嗯，这关键
Otherwise,
是没
it's
人敢给你
difficult
的
to
爱，
tell what
是这
gender
样
you
的
are.
啊。所以的话，
And they
这个
don't
很多
dare to
孩
give
子
you love.
就是年轻发懵啊，
So
哎，
some
就不知道
young
怎么打扮
children,
自己啊。
they
其
are
实每个人
confused
内
and
心
don't
都
know
是
how to
很
dress
活
themselves.
跃和冲动的啊。
Everyone's
哎，希
heart
望
is full of
有喜
energy.
欢他叫啥？
荣纯
What's her
荣
name?
纯的
Rongchun.
这个年轻男生
So
啊，
people who like
目前单身
Rongchun,
的哈，
if you are
年龄
single,
也相
if
配
you're
的
a
哈，
man, and if
大
you
个
are
3、5
about
岁
the
都是
same
可以的
age,
哈。
even if it's 3 or
尤
4
其是
years
在美国
older,
加州生活的，请找
especially
他
if
联
you
络一下，
live
好吧？
in
荣纯
California,
赶紧的哈，
then
他非常可
contact
爱。
Rongchun.
对，很好，
Rongchun
跟
is
妈妈
very
赶紧练
cute.
撒娇。
And
爸爸变那
Rongchun
个发嗲
learn
赶
to
紧练
be
习
girly
少
with
练
your
开车
parents
啊。
and don't drive too
对，
much.
以后让你男朋友给你开车去。
Remember,
这样
your
的，
boyfriend can drive for you.
哎，
Even
对，
if you want to refit your car, you have to
嗯，
to
对呀，
pretend that you don't know
要
how
有
to
智
do
慧，
it.
会也
You
装
have
不会，
to have wisdom.
会也装
Even
不
if you
会，
know how to do it,
是吧？
pretend that you don't know how
哎，
to do it.
你不然像那个绝真师姐，她老公
Don't
总是
be
说她
like
你
Jue
是
Zhen.
非
Jue
常
Zhen's
的
husband is
超
always
级
saying
的
that
强
you
壮
are
啊，
like
要
you're
到这么
super
的
strong.
strong。
You're surprisingly strong.
对，要这个要一定要能装娇气一点
You
啊。
have to pretend to be very girly and feminine.
觉
Jue Zhen says, don't be like me. My husband says that I don't worry about you when you go out at night. Even if you go into, you run into a robber, the robber
绝
will
真
run
你装
away
都不
from
会
you.
装啊。
Jue Zhen, you have to learn to pretend, to act.
你说绝真，人家说绝真上次她自己在海边溜达2
Last
个小
time,
时，
Jue Zhen
她
took a
光
walk
捡
on
钱、
the
捡手机、
seaside.
捡钱包，捡了10来个，一
She
见她就跑了
she
都。
found
她就这么
several
钱你不给我吗？
wallets and cell phones because people saw
总
her
觉得
and
物质
ran
没抢
away.
到。
They think that she's a
女强
robber.
盗
If they leave their wallet there, then she wouldn't run after them. Jue Zhen
谈
says,
不
yes,
收
I
赃
found
款，
those wallets and give it to the center.
要来路明
Master
确的
says
钱
that
才行。
the center doesn't take these dirty
做
money.
功德的没地方。
哎，
Jue
很
Zhen
简单，
says,
你半夜
as
还
a
放那个
female
地方
robber, I cannot even
再拿捡了再放
give
那
it
就
for
是
merits. Master says, put it back wherever you found it.
对，就是还有一个就是你在选择这个职业上哈，
And also
选择职
when
业上
you
来说，这
try
个女
to
生
pick
哈，
a
不是不
career,
能做改装车，
it's
因为我
not
和她
that
通过
a
电话，
female
她不
cannot
懂
go
汽车修理技
into
术，
the
对吧？
career
其实你
of
叫个人爱好，
automotive
认为哈，
mechanic.
个
But
人
she
爱好，
has,
比
she
如说
doesn't
我
have the
们
skills.
比如
I've
说我
talked
做
to
的
her
各
on
种
the
各样的
phone.
职业，有经商的，
She
有
just,
做
it's
官
just
的，
an interest.
有什么
There are many
编
different
程序的，
careers. You could be
比
a
如说我们
government
同样都
official.
喜
You
欢打
could
羽毛球，
be in
对不对？
business.
喜欢打羽毛球
You
作为一个
could
运动，
be
但是并
a
不代表你可以作为这样
a
的专职的运动员，
technologist.
好吧？
everyone could have the interest of playing badminton, but we are not a professional badminton player. You said that you like refitting automobiles, but you have no skills at all. So then it could not be your career. If you want a career, then that career should be associated with your degree. You studied finance, right? So you should find a line of work that's associated to your degree, whether it's statistics or finance or accounting. So you should play your strong suit to find a job. Then it's the most suitable for you. The things that you want to do is not connected to anything. You learned finance, but you want to refit automobiles. You learned finance, but you work in an e-commerce company. Nothing is related. It has nothing to do with finance. Nothing is connected. And you did it on purpose. It means that you don't have any experience and you didn't think about it. So what I'm reminding you is to use your strong suit, your capabilities to find a job. Then you can do the best. Uli says this reminder is for everyone who's trying to find a job. You should. Master says that I met a young person in Malaysia. His mom says that I don't know how to comment on him. His goal is very grand. He wants to unite Africa and become the president of Africa. After I heard this, I saw that it's impossible. He said that he doesn't want to do a regular business. He wants to change Malaysian ringgit into United States dollars. But what about his actions? He's just a freeloader. He attended university for 2 years and found an excuse to stay at home and not go out at all. He says that his teacher and classmates are not good. These are just silly and lazy people, and your parents are too kind to chase you, to throw you out. Such kind parents are destroying their own children. Uli says, don't be so soft-hearted. So Master says, Rongchun, use your strong suit to find a job. You have to find a job that is based on your degree, and so that you can use what you have learned in your job. Don't jump so far away. Say that you made it into university, and when you selected that faculty, you must have thought about it. Why are you jumping around different industries? Then it's all your weakness, right? You want to do automobile fitting, but you don't know how to do it. You never even change your own tire. Then it's just a bland dream. Some dreams can come true through hard work, but this one's not. So through this example, I just want to remind all the young friends. Another question from Malaysia. Shi Ruifeng says, my daughter just received a diploma in early childhood development and education to work with children 18 months to 6 years, and her dream is to get a Bachelor of Education degree from Beijing Normal University or Zhejiang Normal University. Me and my husband doesn't agree because there are a lot of competition in China, and considering that Malaysian Chinese cannot be compared to China Chinese, and we're worried that she won't be able to take the pressure. So we want to know, Master, should we support her to go to China or stay in Malaysia?
当你的父母亲的心太
Master
软，
says that
担
when
心太多的时候，
the parent's
只能
heart
废
is
掉你
too
的孩
soft
子。
and have too much
你
to
比如学
worry,
中
then
文
you
的部
will
分，对吧？
waste your
你到中
child.
国他是讲中文，人人讲中
If
文。
you are learning
你原来生
Chinese,
活
of
本身就
course
是一
you
种学
should
习，
go
对不
to
对？
China.
可是
Everyone
说你又
speaks
怕他们的
Chinese,
压力，
and
那你
everyone
的孩
is
子从事什
talking
么工作呢？
in Chinese in everyday
你比如
life,
说你在马来西亚
and
教
you
中
are
文的
afraid
话，
that
那你的中文
it's
是什
too
么
much
呢？
pressure for
什么
your
都不是。
child.
就是从事什
But-
么工作都得面临压力。对，
所
And
以
Jurgen
是
says
妈
that
妈
there
糊
is
涂，
stress
女儿
about
清醒。
every
女
career.
儿很清醒。
Master
对，
says
妈
that
妈
the child is very
妈妈叫
clear-minded,
做
but
慈
the
悲
mother
善良的糊
is
涂
too
妈妈。
kind and
很多
too
妈妈就是慈
too
悲善良
confused.
加糊涂，
Although
最
the
后把
mother
孩子
is
给
very
废了。
compassionate and
那
very
我的意见
kind,
是
but you're
放出
too
去。
confused.
那也有
My
人说放
suggestion
出去，
is
万
to
一遇到
let
什么
your
事儿呢，
child
那就
go.
看他的命
Some
硬不
people
硬，
might
知
say
道
that
吗？
what if
说实在
something
话，
goes wrong when she
我就
goes?
说宏观上说哈，
Master
我们
says
出了
in
门
its
遇到什么
fate.
事都是未知数啊。
Master
当上天
says
不让你
no,
存活下来
when
的
we
时候，那是
leave
命
our
数。
home,
但是如果让你
whatever
闯过这
happens
些
is
关，
for a
能好好
reason.
活下来，你就
If
是英
we
雄啊！
go through these
至少一个
challenges
女孩
and
可以
live
自食其
through,
力，对不对？
then we are
你
a
的中
hero.
文就学得很好了呀。
A girl
你在
can
马来西亚如果教
make
中
a
文，
living
或
by
者从事
herself,
在
and your Chinese will be
华
very
人的
good.
这个
If
行
you
业之中
teach
工作的话，你
Chinese
就
in
得心应
Malaysia,
手呀。
then you can be
对，
very good at
跟我
it.
们学英文，一
And
旦
also,
在
if
正
you
经的
work
讲英文的国家，比如说美国、英国去
speaking
讲
Chinese,
学
you'll
英
be
文
very
的话，
good.
那才正
It's like
宗啊。
learning English. We
哎，
would
对
go
呀。
to
所以的话，这
America
个
or
应该
go to
家长
Great
要放下
Britain to
这个
learn
心
English.
啊，要有
And
这么
so
大
the
一个心
parents
才
should
可
settle
以，
their hearts
好吧？
and
孩子的
have
选
be
择挺好的，
open-minded.
他选择北师大，
Jurgen
这
says
京师大
that
都是中国一
the
流的师
child's
范类的
choice
大
is
学。
very good.
哦，
Beijing
真的有
or
知识才的
Zhejiang
梦想。
Normal University are very good
放飞他。
universities. We should support her dream and let her go, let her fly. Uli says that I can imagine once she graduates and come back to Malaysia, no matter where she work, she would have a very good future, a
去
very
读大学
beautiful
就好比
future.
人去修炼一样哈。
Going to
说这个时间你
university
一定要
is
花，
like
这个钱你一定要
doing
供，
practice.
就是这
You have
样
to
子
spend
哈。
the money
所以
and
爸妈
you
要
have to
舍
spend
得
the
哈，
time.
对，要
So
舍得他才能取得成就啊。
So
对，
be
所
generous
以这
and
个
let
就
her
是
go, and
父母
she
亲呢，
can
你的心
be
也要
successful.
宽广一点。
The
因为你
parents'
作
heart
为
needs to be
父母亲来说，
open-minded.
通常会担忧的多。
Usually, as a
但是
parent, you would be
我
very
是更提
worried.
醒家长有更进一步的理
But
解
I
哈
want to，remind
就是
the
给儿
parents,
女有一个发
give
展
your
创造
child,
成长的空间。
give your child room to develop,
这
to
是什么意思
create.
呢？
What does
比如
this
说
mean?
孩子不用
For
考，老爸
example,
有钱。你读了那么多
if
学位，不就是为了挣钱吗？爸爸的钱足够你生活一辈子
if
了。
the father has
但
enough
是
money to
你不让
support
他
the
去
child for
自
their
己去
entire
创造，
life,
只花这笔
but if
钱
you don't let
太窝
them
在
go
屋
out
里
to
付出去
create,
了，你爸
then
妈
they
幸福
would
吗？
just stay in their room and spend
那
that
咱们
money.
不是讲
In
这
that
些吗？
case,
我们
would
爹
the
妈都
parents be
愁
happy?
死了嘛。
We
一
talked,
直生
Jurgen
活在
says
父
we
母的
talked
支
about
配
these
下。
把爹
cases
妈都快弄
earlier
疯
in
了。
the session.
对
The
呀，
parents
他
were
更
very
不能继承你
worried
的事
and
业，
they're going
他成
crazy.
为一个虫子，成为一个大
Master
白虫
says
子
the
窝在那个木头
childs,
桩子
they
里头啃木
become
头，就是这样。他有的东西
they
啃呢，
they become
所以
worms
孩
and
子
just
自己能
eating,
创造才是精
resting
彩
in a
的。
piece
自
of
己觉得首
lumber
先是
and
非常愉
eating
快的，因为有
away.
成就感。
And when the
所以就
childs
是提
create
醒
their
家长，
own living, it's
要
the
让
most
孩子
happy for
成就
them
哪
because
哪一
they
方面，
feel a sense of
让他失去
achievement.
哪一方面呀？让他去赚
And it's a
钱，你别
reminder
给
to
他
the
那么多钱。
parents, if
对不
you
对？
want
你看
your
像他讲
child
的
to
新加
achieve
坡的这个
something,
人来
then they
说，
have to lose
走到哪
something.
都要
If you
把
want them
他
to
父母
earn
把
their
家
own
人去
money,
要钱
then
要
don't
钱要
give them
钱。
so
我
much
相信
money.
他能一直要到死。
Xiangke told the
因为什么
story
呢？
of her relative
去
in
要钱
Singapore.
本身也是一种习
That
惯，
relative asked for
而
money
给
all
钱的
her
人也
life
是觉
long,
得我
and
给
that
他
become
钱
a
是一种
habit.
习惯，也是一
And
种
the
责
people
任。
who give her money
最后，其
also
实你
have
的
a
害了。
habit of giving her
就是这样。
money and thinking that it's
所
their
以
responsibility to
这个
give
家
her
长要
money.
给孩子成长的空间，
But
让他
then
去挣
you're
钱，就别给那
destroying
么
her.
多钱。
So So give
你给
your
惯了之后，
child
你
room
少
to
给了他还
develop
骂你，
and
他不
create,
是说之
and
前
don't
给了
give
他
her
感
so
恩，
much
不是，
money.
他会骂你。他说为什么现在
If
你
you
物价
give
的成
her
长
a
了
lot of
，10年
money,
前给我1个月2000，怎么现
they
在还
might
给
say
2000呢？
that
你不是
10
你把这
years
钱都花
ago
光
you
了吗？
give me
他不想。
$1,000, but now you
我感
still
冒了，
give
为什
me
么多给我
$1,000
加点
after
钱呢？
10 years.
哎，他还
I'm
骂
having
你
a
骂你，
cold. Why don't you
所以
give
要
me
给
a
他
little
自
bit
己
more
去
money?
闯这个世界。
So you have to give your children
当然了，
room,
宁可让他
let
饿死，
them
也应该
discover
去让
this
他去努
world,
力。
even if
啊，
they might,
所以这个家
even
长因
though
为
they
很没
might
他这个
starve,
心，就
you
是因
have
为
to
莫
let
名其
them
妙
work
的
hard.
慈悲善良，
Many parents are very soft-hearted and they're compassionate and kind, but it destroys our children. The children lose their creativity, lose their tolerance to stress. You have blocked all their opportunity with money. You have created a large money vault for them, and then your children are just trying to spend all that money and waste it all away. So you have to create opportunity for them, although it might bring them pain, but it also allows them to grow. So that will be all for this session. And when we share, I am also affected by these questions. I am not really angry. It's just that these things, these issues are related to every family. When parents, if you're selfish, and that limited compassion will destroy our children. And every children can be trained. And I hope that you and all, I hope that you and your children can create the future together. The future are in my hands, and don't destroy that future in your hands. And the parents take 90% of the responsibility of creating that good future for the children. Also, we should not be punishing the children all the time, but we should scientifically raise the child and don't give them an environment where they can just spend and waste away the money. Give them an environment that they know that they should create and develop. So this is a discussion with all the parents and children, and I hope that you can forgive me my words that are like fire. These children are destroying their own future, and also my fire is very fierce, but it's not as fierce as your laziness that destroys yourself. You can create a beautiful future for yourself. Every step of the way, you can create a beautiful future. And my summary is creativity. Creative future is the best, and creativity comes from poorness. And I hope that you could leave your room to create your beautiful future. Thank you to all the parents and children. I don't know what we will be talking about in the next session. Next live feed will be on June 2nd on Wednesday in Vancouver. In Asia, that will be Thursday, June 3rd. Vancouver, Wednesday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. And in Asia, Thursday, June 3rd at 9 a.m. in the morning. We will meet again in the live stream, and the topic is not determined yet. If you like certain topics, you can write to me, or you can leave me a comment. And if it's necessary, then we can discuss that topic together. Thank you for your participation. I wish you all auspiciousness, good health. May you all be happy and blissful. May all children grow healthily. Let's meet again next time.
小小的红点里，人生就此欢喜。我快乐了，我 福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我自在了。因为有了你，生命变得更坚定，不忧忧无虑。因为有了你，日子不再有哭泣，不再有恐惧。我快乐了，我快乐了，我健康了，我健康了，我幸福了，我幸福了，我美丽了，我美丽在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点里，人生就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与您相遇。小小的红点里，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，我智慧了，我宽容了，我宽容了，我慈悲了，我慈悲了，我自在了，我自在了。因为有了你，了解生命的真理，修行的意义。因为有了你，日子犹如彩虹般，彩虹般美丽。我快乐了，我快乐了，我健康了，我健康了，我幸福了，我幸福了，我美丽了，我美丽了，我快乐了，我快乐了，我美丽了，我美丽了，我幸福了，我幸福了，我美丽了。